As usual, I got to turn the volume off over here, man, or it's going to start echoing real bad. And instead of taking up a lot of time like I usually do by reading Moby Dick or, playing a long song or giving a long diatribe for the song, I'm just going to say, yeah, grunge guy offed himself in a shitty motel in Detroit the other day, and he's fucking gone. I'll swear I'll recognize your face. It's haunting, familiar yet I can't seem to place it. I cannot find a candle of thought, light your name. Lifetimes are catching up to me. And all these changes take place. I wish I'd seen your face, but no one's ever taken me. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. No, now I recognize your breasts. That's right, sweet thing. Haunting memories. I said breasts and it threw me all the fuck off. Memories like fingerprints, they are slowly raising. Maybe you wouldn't recall, I'm not my former. It lives on when you're stuck upon the shelf. And I'll change by not changing at all. Small town predicts a fate. No one's ever taken me. And I just want to scream, no. My God, it's been so long. Never dreamed you'd return. But now here you are. And here I am. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. And that goes for a long time as it dies into nothing. Also, like a true grunge guy would have, I fucked the chord progression up at the end and also forgot a few lyrics. How appropriate is that for a guy in tribute to a guy that just hung himself by his own bloody neck? Hoist himself by his own petard? I don't know. I'm going to rearrange my mic now, and Doppelganger, I think you know everybody here better than me. Do you want to introduce everyone, or does everyone want to introduce their own selves?
Oh, let's go. Ladies, Buttercup, I believe this is the first time you're guesting on our stream. So
It
care to
is.
give us.
Well, as you said, I'm Buttercup. I am new at this YouTube thing, and I'm just kind of having some fun doing it. Appearing on
And-
everyone's live stream that I can, because
and
I'm a
indeed-
stream whore.
And indeed, yesterday you were on a great stream with Barbarian, and also you have your own channel just started going, so we will get to
Yes.
that later on. Great. Catherine, I believe you're the second time now on our stream, so say hello, please.
Hello, I'm Kat. I
And
don't
your
have a
very
YouTube
unique
channel, but I
specialty.
am a consumer.
And your very unique specialty is?
My very specific specialty is cybersecurity.
Wow, that's something. The man that doesn't need any introduction, the Barbarian.
I am still mildly hungover from yesterday's shenanigans. It was a glorious stream, but don't watch it. Don't watch it unless you're going to get drunk with us while you're watching it, or it's going to hurt to watch. I finally
Really,
realized.
don't watch it.
And
It's,
don't give me that. I'm not
it's
supposed to break in
bad.
during the intros, but don't give me that hangover shit, you son of a bitch. You, I never drank. I drank fucking a quarter mason jar of moonshine, a quarter,
Ogre,
of half
would
a
you please
pint of
wait for-
moonshine. It's right off the
Would you
farm.
please wait for your
I
turn?
passed out in my fucking shitter this morning. I was pissing. I didn't know I did. I woke up. There's no urine on the floor and on myself.
Wait for your
I
turn,
saw your
please.
tweet about that.
So, Mark, you're a humble, crazy guy from foreign country. Hello, everybody. Glad to see you joining us. And now, for the big finale, we have Ogre, the man himself.
Oh, I can't. I just got muted, so I better shut the hell up.
It's now your turn. No, I'm going to be quiet now.
No, it's great. It's good to have everybody here. Doppelganger is second to none. My brother from not another mother, but from another universe, from the planet Kolot, apparently. And he's really not saying that's from our own deduction. Make your own conclusions, as Crowder would say. But he's not gay either. So thanks, Dop, for being here. I really appreciate everybody being here. I think what we're going to do, folks, because everyone knows that I can't talk about serious stuff for longer than a half hour anyway. And Doppelganger has to go off and teach people on our planet how to better themselves in about a half hour. So while we have him here, I thought, Dop, is there some kind of order you want to go through these news stories that you were so kind to send me? You know I'm really itching to get on the Julian Assange thing, but whatever you want to do, mate.
Yes, that's a great start. Please jump on it. And just as a quick refresher, Julian Assange is still holed up in Ecuadorian, I believe, embassy in London. He's been given asylum in the embassy. And meanwhile, there are legal shenanigans going on behind his back to maybe, just maybe, get him extradited or something. So here's the newest news regarding that. Apparently, that's not the one. Ogre, please step up your game.
Oh, sorry. You sent me two in the one. Let me quit presenting this because I don't want to go to your mail.
Okay, so apparently, as a refresher, he was detained originally on behalf of Sweden, where he was charged with some trumped-up rape case, which didn't really involve rape as we know it. It was just some strange definition from Swedish law. And now the Sweden has apparently dropped the charges because the charges weren't really, oh yeah, that should be it. Great. So Sweden drops the rape investigation, which should be a good thing for his case, I believe. And it's weird in a way because he's still wanted by United Kingdom, as far as I understand it. Let me find the relevant piece. And
that's what's so weird to me. Okay, so find that, because Dop, I want someone to explain to me what they want him for. Are they just pissed because the Ecuador gave him asylum? I mean, why do they want him? If all the charges are dropped, shouldn't he just be able to, fly on back down to his compound in Oz and just say, fuck y'all?
Yeah, this is the strangest thing of all, because basically, as we suspect, it's not that they wanted him just on rape charges. They really were, that's our understanding, they were under pressure from United States to put some pressure on the man who's being the gadfly on United States government's skin, so to say. And here we now have him still being wanted, apparently by UK itself. I'm not quite sure what exactly they do have against him, but they are hell-bent on arresting him. And I dug this tweet from somewhere on the internet. Let's see if I copy the link. Would you please present it for us, just as well? Link is in the side chat. So apparently his legal battles are not over yet, in that it's now apparently even easier for United States to obtain his extradition because only United Kingdom government's consent would be required for that, not just Sweden's. Basically, as long as he was charged by Sweden or wanted by Sweden on charges, the United States would need to go through with Sweden's court system. Now it's not the case anymore, just UK's. So strangely enough, he may be actually in some more troubled waters now.
This is really confusing. I'm not saying it's confusing, because I understand what they're saying. What they're saying is that even though Sweden dropped the charges, Great Britain has to also drop them?
Yeah, I believe those aren't even charges like something that he did. It was more or less that he avoided being detained by police successfully, as we can see. So basically, they want him for being wanted. That would be a colloquial way.
Evading arrest.
Oh my gracious! I tell you what, and it was said on the stream. I can't remember if it was you or Beard Bearing. Some wise person said on the stream the other day that here's the problem. It might have been the British. It doesn't really matter who it was because it was a good idea, good thought. If Trump, and he did, can share these things that he learned from Mossad and from the Israelis, and Israel's fine with it. He's the president. He can share whatever he wants, and that's okay because it was necessary to share that to help people. Well, Trump, don't fuck around, motherfucker. Get on this. And the rest of them too. I mean, all the whistleblowers out there, Manning, all of them. There's a list pretty long. So instead of going through the whole list, it's about time that if our president is going to stand up and say, hey, I knew what was best at this time and I gave this information. Well, these people did too.
Yeah, exactly. We know that back during his presidential campaign, Barack Obama was promising a more transparent government. Obviously, nothing much came out of that. He was actually pretty good at prosecuting journalists and whistleblowers and leakers. Well, now, here's to hoping that Trump will be able to differentiate himself by actually doing the right thing here. Especially as Julian is not really American subject. He's I believe Swedish, or what was his nationality? Sorry, I kind of forgot.
Who? Which? I'm sorry, Julian Assange.
Assange. Yeah,
he's from Australia.
Ah,
Yes,
right.
yes.
So, in any case, he shouldn't be subject to some American laws. It's not like he was operating in America or anything.
Well, now if Sweden dropped charges, shouldn't be subject to any laws. But since you let me know what Catherine does, and Catherine said what she does, do you have anything to say about this? I mean, it seems like cybersecurity that you'd be right up Julian Assange's street.
Oh, he's a beast at it, to my understanding. I think he would far exceed my skill set, but can you refine your question a little bit more? Like, what exactly are you trying to
Well, what I'm saying
get
is, since he is pretty much the godfather of cybersecurity and how to break into other people's stuff and how to prevent other people from doing that. I mean, don't you have some kind of attachment to this story? Is there, or do you not even follow it? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Oh, it's fine. He has a team that helps him out, so it's not just him per se. So the skill set's not completely on him, but he, to my understanding, and I could be wrong, is he doesn't necessarily proactively attack people to get their information. He more or less traffics the information. So it would be on the parties of other people who are getting into these various systems. For instance, like the DNC, everybody keeps saying that it was a hack job, but if you'd like, I can explain why I disagree with that.
I would love
that. They get the information to him and then he filters through it and then distributes it, right? But the fact that so many people trust him to do all of this after they've proactively attacked systems or they've managed to get the information kind of makes him the godfather in that sense.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we know that Michael Corleone didn't go out and whack people, and he didn't even make all the deals, but he was the godfather, and everybody kissed his ring. And so I have to say that I'm not a hacker. I'm a hacker in a different way, and I'm an old school troll. But boy, if I ever was to meet Julian Assange, I'd reach in my wallet, I'd give him $100 bill, and I'd kiss his ring. And that's I'm a Jew, so the $100 thing would hurt me really bad. It's almost like getting butt fucked.
Almost.
Catherine, let me ask you, are you aware of the WikiLeaks task force, the account on Twitter for people who want to actually help out with the WikiLeaks?
I'm actually not familiar with that information. I don't participate in anything with WikiLeaks whatsoever. I've never even tried to Google it, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, okay. So may I ask, is it something that you find simply not interesting, or are you trying to keep out of government's purview by actually avoiding this?
The latter.
Okay, so here we have a perfectly good example of somebody who otherwise would be, I guess, interested in what's going on, but feels the need to actually avoid certain subjects just because they may land you in trouble, right?
Yes, I don't recommend that you proactively go after these sort of things unless you intend on being involved with them.
And we're, you know what, and we're going to get, we've got 15 more minutes and we're going to get into hangover cures. That's how we're going to start out the middle of the next hour. So look, I want to go on. I really do. I know it's just brief, but I want to say it this way in about 30 seconds. Julian Assange shouldn't be in any kind of confinement. 5 years, if any, is long enough. Let the sucker go. He is an aggregate site, as already has been pointed out. He does not hack anyone. People come to him and say, this information is important. Would you please help us get it to the world? I've never seen anything there that I feel like people shouldn't be able to know. So, you know, bless you, Mr. Assange. I hope that you get out of there. So I did see this also from BuzzFeed. What a wonderful, reputable news source. And Dop, you sent this to me. I'm going to screen share it right now because this is really bugging me because of some things I've already said today. I mean, is there going to be someone that knocks on my door one day because I say kike or spick or whop? You know, is my opinions on the news or on social issues, is that ever going to get me in the same position that our beloved friend Count Dankula's in? Because it says Theresa May, Teresa, I know, whatever. Theresa May wants to regulate the internet. The Conservative Manifesto sets out a distinct vision for the future of the internet in which what? This thing here, why am I having a brain fart? It's probably the whiskey. Because what does that say, doppelganger?
Anarchic or
Okay,
anarchic work. Yeah, anarchic work run by private companies is supplemented by substantial government intervention.
That's so terrible. I had to ask somebody from another planet to read English to me. So it's anarchic. It's saying that this is such an anarchy on the internet. So can we jump off from there, Dop? Is this anarchy that we are experiencing, or is it a free exchange and marketplace of ideas?
Unfortunately, I believe it's both, in that indeed we are having a free marketplace of ideas, but also there are some elements of anarchy. You can, for example, see a witch mob once in a while or pitchfork mob once in a while, ganging up on some people. Let's not forget that. However, in any case, I am quite worried about any heavy-handed ruling or, sorry, I'm having brain fart here, any heavy-handed enforcement of the internet, any kind of licensing or whatever, because frankly, that wouldn't really work on the internet, and it would pretty much throw the spanner into anything that's going on right now. Guys, please, can you help me out on the subject?
I think that that might be just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I think that we need the internet as a place to be able to let loose. We need a place where we can say the things that we can't say in normal, polite society. And for them to want to regulate the internet like that, I think is offensive almost. You know, you already have rules and laws. There are already so many things that you can and can't do in regular society. So for them to want to put their laws into place on the internet is ow. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm done ranting.
No, that's
Yeah.
good. I agree. And also, to me, when I think about what you said, it hit home so strongly, because what are we going to do? Are we going to be like Great Britain, where they say, because obviously it's coming from Great Britain, where they say, oh, certain kinds of pornography should be illegal? Well, Buttercup, what if you just want to see these things and it allows you to release these things, and then you don't have to go rape some poor innocent boy walking down there? And I mean boy, like 20-year-old boy. I don't mean pedophilia or anything. And so you don't have to like manhandle him and take him behind a tree and be like, eat this pussy, because now you've got a way to get that out of your system. I believe that regulation
Right?
of these kind of things, where
If I want to watch hentai porn, I should be able to watch hentai porn. That should be my right.
Yeah, and to stop it may cause problems in other areas. I honestly believe that. And I didn't want to just bulldog the conversation. I would like to hear from everybody else on here. Restriction is never a good thing, because you say, oh, don't look over here. If I say don't look behind the curtain, you want to look behind the curtain. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And frankly, I'm worried about this predicament we are in, because on one hand, we wanted the Conservatives in UK to win simply because they delivered us the Brexit, or they are working on delivering the Brexit. However, on the other hand, they seem that maybe for their own ideological reasons, maybe just to appease some constituency, they are keen to actually enforce some moral rules where they are not really welcome. So yeah, whom do we vote for in come next election? I want
That's
some
a good
liberty
question.
when it really matters, and also I want the Brexit to happen because it is a good signal for the EU as a whole.
Well, I'm sick and
Something
tired
to
of this shit, though,
think.
Dop, where I've got to choose between. Why can't we just have somebody with some freaking sense? Why do I always have to choose between Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? Why can't I choose between two good people? And now it's
Libertarian
like
Party, hashtag 2020.
yeah, I know. I should have voted for Gary Johnson, because they
I
dogged
did.
him over Aleppo. Look, that's so libertarian. He shouldn't have known where Aleppo is because libertarians say fucking diplomacy ends at the water's edge. We're not going to get involved in foreign entanglements. And I wish that he would have stood up and said that. Why do I care where Aleppo is? How about Chicago?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. In that we really need politicians to mind our own countries first and our own communities first. In any case, there is something that I seen a long time ago on the internet. There is this old quote, more or less going that the internet treats censorship as damage and roots around it. And from what I've seen, it mostly works that way, with one exception. Certain services have become very centralized. For example, YouTube, which is the huge majority of online video sharing and online streaming. Well, maybe except Twitch, but this is mostly for gaming. In any case, here's this one huge juicy target for any government that would want to impose some kind of censorship. And frankly, it worries me that the video sharing and live streaming is one such huge target. So I'm watching the growth of VidMe and other such services with great hope that with diversity in the space of video sharing, will be much more resilient against any kind of governmental attack.
Man, we can really hope so, but we see right here that, as you know, you sent me this also, Dop, and it was in the same mail that Facebook is blocking Pulitzer-winning reporter over Malta government expose. If they can block this man, who is an honest-to-goodness Pulitzer-winning writer, I mean, there's not a ton of those on Earth. That means you are the creme de la creme. You are the top-notch, head of the class, first seat. You know what I mean? That's there's no, you're the apex in what you do. So if they can take him down because he wrote an expose, and remember, I got to say it again, if he's a Pulitzer winning reporter, the expose that he delivered was factual. I'm not even going to look at it before I tell you. It was factual. It was unbiased, but they don't like it because when you look at it unbiased, it shows bad things that somebody did. This is the problem I have, Dop, is even if the net neutrality thing, which I was trying to get Jeremy on, but he can't, he's busy guy too, and it's Friday. What I mean busy, he's French. He's getting drunk in a blowjob or something. So, I want it because net neutrality is coming to an end, folks. They're starting to vote on it now, and they want to end me being able to invite the beautiful Buttercup, the incomparable beard-bearing, and the one-of-a-kind doppelganger, and that we would get together and have these ideas. They don't want that anymore. They want to end it.
Yeah,
Well,
and
because money talks, and if you've got deep enough pockets, you can influence everything from corporations like YouTube and Facebook to government. And that's what we're watching right now. We're watching these governments, these corporations, these people get in bed with each other, and we're watching this influence the way that we are allowed to exchange ideas. And it's ridiculous.
All right, and we're going to transfer. We're going to.
It makes me angry.
Yes, sir.
Let me get in a silver side on this, though, because this is something that I hear a lot about, but not everybody's willing to put their perspective for a moment. Yes, these controls and restrictions are starting to come into place, but look at all the people who are cluing into it and resisting it and coming together, and the communities that are being built under this trapping force. How did the partisan armies start building in Mussolini's Italy to fight back? Groups of individuals who were trapped, they couldn't turn anywhere else. They were forced to band together, and so Italy was freed. We're going to do the same thing. There is a silver lining. There are good things happening now because of these restrictions, and it's because we hate restriction.
Fucking right, man. Beard-bearing, I'll be right beside you when the revolution starts. I will be the minister of fun. Oh, and Dop, by the way, we got 5 more minutes, Dop, and then you got to go to work because you got to save our planet, dude. We depend on you. So I want to give it completely to you, Dop. So you got 5 minutes to wrap this up any way you want, man. Ask any questions, talk for 5 minutes, whatever you want to do, brother. It's all yours.
Wow, you actually put me on the spot here because I wanted to follow up on Barbarian and get back to you guys. In any case, Barbarian, I'm with you. Pretty much, I'm with you with one exception in in that I see quite a lot of people online being actually, or sorry, going actually quite to the extremes of reacting to the current levels of censorship and the rising tide of censorship. So I'm worried a bit that the backlash may be just so strong that we may end up under a different kind of authoritarian governance or maybe authoritarian ideas just. So how do we really, panel, please help me out, how do we stop people from going too far to the other side, from being completely crazy and full on, well, not to shit on alt-right, but for being neo-Nazi or something?
Well, it's that's something that I also share with you right there. That's always a concern. The way that I see this being addressed, however, is because there's always going to be people, there's always zealots, there's always crazy people, and the way that that we deal with them is as a community, setting better examples, trying to encourage or discourage that sort of behavior. Because right now there's a lot of crazies, and it's really hard for us to do a lot about these crazies. I've actually given up on dealing with the current level of crazy. I'm more concerned about the next generation of sane. And I honestly feel that by setting the proper examples that we can in these communities, that our children's generation will benefit from our experiences and our learning and our embracing of that refusal to submit, our integrity and our freedom.
That's a great point. Indeed, the new generation, all the kids that we used to sneer at, we really have to trust that they will do the right thing. And also, as far as we can, we should actually talk with them and be as good friends and be as good mentors as we possibly can. Please, let's not underestimate the young people. We have a very good example here. One of the first viewers of Ogre, one drunk sailor. She's great, and she's one of the young generations. So shout outs to Drunken Sailor, and please, by all means, be the good change that we need in this world.
Love you, Sailor. And I don't know how much more you got, Dop, because I didn't mean to put you on.
That's about it.
You know what I'm going to do. Once in a while, I'm going to have you host the show when you least expect it. The reason why is because you expect a lot out of me, and you do for good reason. I say humbly that you expect a lot out of me because you see something that is potential, and I don't always live up to it. And I see something in you also, sir. So I will try to push you every chance I get to let the world know, you know, who Doppelganger is, come down to this planet, condescended to show us human beings how we should live. So I sure appreciate it. Go to work, man.
Thank you very much. Panel, thank you for guesting me. Have fun, and hopefully you can find some more fun subjects that what we've just covered. Please do it. Find some more fun. See you later.
All right, I'm going to kick this off now. News is over. I'm probably going to go for at least 2 hours from right now, even if I'm the one rambling. No matter what, I'm going to about an hour, so I'll send this out into the general chat area so we can get some other crazies in here. But I'm going to show you right now how I deal with a hangover. Last night, I don't get starstruck. I had Sargon of a, and look, I don't want to go through the name drop, but look at my channel. You see some of the people that have been on. I talk.
Calm down, Marty.
I know, you're right. I know famous people in the real world that I know personally on a personal level. I'll just say one of them is Reverend Williams, ZZ Top. I know the gentleman personally. And so, you know, to me, being starstruck, it's not only not cool for you, but it does, people don't like that. I mean, if it's a famous person there and you're like, oh, you're famous, you know, because they're just people too. But I got to admit it, Beard Berrien, man, he's not here right now where you can see me, but I hope he can hear me. When I was on with
I'm just right around the corner preparing my hangover cure. I'm staging.
No, go ahead. I can see that you got your headphones on, so you can hear me. That's all I care right now about. Right? Yeah, we got to hear your hangover cure. But I'll tell you what, I wasn't starstruck, but I felt like I was the first person to bust So's balls last night, and you know I did. And he loved it, man. I knew he would, and he busted by. I mean, we were going, and that dude. If you can hear me, sir. We may or may not be working on a little thing that I'm so giddy about. I have to mention it this way that hopefully you'll enjoy and that you'll see that we appreciate you, that we are subs, not necessarily fans, but we stand with you. And brother, I've loved these guys for so long. I just watched the Mario, Vigilant Christian Mario thing again last night. And I tell you what, those boys tickle my funny bone and give me a boner, dude. So I drank a little too much moonshine last night because he had, and I don't know, man, this guy, I don't know what but he had some colored liquid. It looked to me like peach brandy, which is moonshine. I mean, it looked like 200 proof peach made whiskey.
Oh yeah, yeah. He said he was drinking moonshine.
Yeah. So this right here is stump water, what we call stump water. It was not made in the Appalachians. It was made here in Michigan by a good friend of mine. And when I started last night, it was up around here. What you see there is about, I don't know, 2 ounces of moonshine. So this is how I deal with a hangover, folks. Pass the teeth and buy the gums. Look out, liver. Here it comes. Oh, hang on. I couldn't get it all down. Hang on a second. I'm going to get this shit down, man. Hang on. Watch this shit.
Good Lord.
If you vomit, just turn off your camera, please.
Yes, please.
Boom. I couldn't. Hang on. I'll tell you in a second. I couldn't vomit it up because it's too hard to get.
I don't get hangovers, so I don't have a hangover here.
Same here.
I get hangovers, so I have an excuse to eat bagels with. I make sandwiches, deep fried bagels with butter fried everything, slices of steak. Got portobello mushroom in there, all being fried in butter with egg, and then I'm putting cream cheese on that bitch.
Great.
I
Now
approve
know
of frying in butter.
Everything is fried in butter.
Oh, dude, you're talking a serious hangover cure right now because you know what the Mexicans do? They eat menudo. And
I'm not even hungover. I'm just a little groggy. I just needed an excuse.
well, and beard, that's what I mean by hungover, because when the young lady, beautiful Buttercup, says she don't get hungover, well, I don't either. I got an agreement with John Barleycorn. You all just seen me keep said agreement. You can't get
hungover if you're still drunk.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, you know,
that's why I
Mother's
thought I had beer left for this morning, but I only have one left out of my entire case.
Oh, great. You drank 23 beers last night?
No, I
drank 11.
I drank 11. I had a 12-pack, but I'm a 3 beers and I'm drunk kind of guy. I'm pretty skinny.
Yeah, and I don't think you're a drunkard like me either. You seem to be a pretty sober feller most of the time.
Most of the time. It wasn't the case in the past, but now.
Well, and you know what? We had that owl boy on last night. What the hell was his name?
Gemini.
And I realized as I was going to find him that I was already subbed to him and had watched like 10 of his videos. And I wasn't subbed to fucking Poisoning the Well and watched all their videos. So I rectified some things last night. And he was on yesterday. And I got to say it one more time is because I want to keep talking about drinking, the reasons we do it. Why is drinking so ingrained in our society, but things like marijuana and heroin aren't? I look up to people.
I know
like
the
Gemini
answer to
that say
that.
they once had a problem and now they choose not to. I'm sorry, young lady. What was that?
Oh, I was just going to say, I know the answer to why drinking is so ingrained in our society, whereas things like heroin and pot aren't.
History sucks.
I do actually know the answer to that.
Tell us.
Okay, so it's because back in like the Middle Ages and everything, they didn't have a way to purify water, so water was riddled with bacteria. So it was actually better to drink alcohol, because it didn't make you as sick. So they would drink alcohol with every meal. So it's become one of those things where just we as a people have been drinking alcohol for so long that it's so ingrained in our society, whereas things like pot or anything else, it's a little bit newer for us. I know like the Native Americans, they would partake in that sort of thing all the time, but like the people that came over here, they would drink. The Puritans, they drank alcohol. It wasn't a thing, and they didn't do that other stuff usually. It wasn't as acceptable. So here we are now, as a society, drinking is fine, but if you smoke that pot, oh, God help you.
It gets a little bit more refined and weird to think about than that.
Damn devil weed. I'm going to smoke this oil while he says what he's going to say and think about big, bouncing, beautiful blue eyes.
The real comparison that needs to be made, or the thing that makes the hallmark difference, is comparing quality of living. Medieval and pre-medieval societies, everyone was dying from disease, suffering from famine. The Victorian era, with those amazing teeny bodice dresses, that wasn't because it was the fashion to be tiny, it's because everyone was suffering from famine and had no meat to them at all. Everybody needs an escape, and alcohol was an easily manufactured one with the amounts of growing that was being done in the area and what was on hand. And on top, like, it was cleaner. Yes, it didn't have the bacteria, but life fucking sucked. All you were doing was working and laboring up until recent generations. Since those more recent generations have come around, since the modernization, industrialization of the world, we've started stepping away from these intoxicants because they hinder our ability to work and be productive. And we still want people to be slaves, but now they're not allowed to drink while they're working the serfdom. It kind of sucks.
You got to keep in mind also that there were long periods of inactivity during the winter because people predominantly involved in agriculture during that time frame as well. So they would just sit around and drink all through the winter. So
I wonder what like conversations they would have just sitting inside drinking. Those like
I imagine they're a lot like the ones we have.
They were very much illiterate, so it's not like they read books.
yeah, no, but that's why I'm curious. Like based on what they were exposed to, what fueled their minds, what made their minds tick, what made the gears like turn in their heads.
Damn, it's on now. We're talking about hangover cures. In fact, Caracal and Jeremy, just because we talked about Julian Assange earlier, I wouldn't do this for any other two people but you two. Well, that's not true. Maybe another 3 others other than you. But if you do want to weasel something in, and we're listening earlier, and say something about Julian Assange or the end of net neutrality, Jeremy, because you see they're trying to pass this shit, we can do that like at the top of this hour. But for right now, let's just do what we're doing, if that's cool. And Conscious Caracal, thanks for coming by, mate. I know it's late there. I know that you got a lot on your plate, but I think you also know that you pick me up every time I see you and make me feel better. It goes for you too, Jeremy. So now Cabot is here. So what is mine? I already said. Y'all see me. I just drank a good 2 ounces of moonshine. I'm my third beer. How do you cure a hangover if you do get
full
one?
English breakfast? That's the only thing you need to know.
Well, tell us what that is. I think I know, but what's an English breakfast, mate?
Bacon, eggs, sausage. You want potato cakes, beans. You have tomato, fried bread, and a big mug of tea.
Damn,
Sweet
you said bacon, sausage, beans.
Eggs,
The full English breakfast is the thing to do.
black pudding. Got to have black pudding.
All, by the way.
Basically, basically stuff your belly with grease, potatoes, and fiber.
Yeah.
Trust the French.
Protein. It's pure protein. How do you think we built an empire? It's a protein diet.
Yeah,
before
too.
and after drinking, that's the best medicine.
You see, the French they prefer Austrian breakfasts.
Well, you don't make an empire on croissant and chocolate.
Well, that's where the croissant came from.
Yes, exactly. But I thought it was Turkish originally, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought it was
no, it's Austrian.
I thought
it was Austrian, yes, because they were mimicking, because it was actually an insult, wasn't it? Because they were eating the symbol of the
shape of the crescent moon.
That's right, yeah. So they were actually eating. It was an insult to eat one, yeah. Austrians, funny little fuckers.
Yes, and somehow the French decided to repay them for giving them this wonderful tradition of the croissant at the Battle of Austerlitz, which was very unfair.
Well, yes, I don't know, it was a particular gift. I mean, like I said, you don't build an empire on
the bait, is he? He's just completely ignoring this.
Yep.
Who, me? No, I was looking at Buttercup for a minute. You remind me of something that I seen painted on a wall of the church a few years ago.
Mind you, of course, the best way of curing a hangover is not to get one in the first place, Ogre.
I don't get hangovers, Brett. You might have missed it. I have an agreement with John Barleycorn. If you never sober up, you never get a hangover.
Exactly. Stay drunk.
Ogre, can we later, when we talk about net neutrality, can we hear Beard's take on this bill they just passed in Canada today?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Beard, are you going to be here in 20 minutes?
Oh, come on. What kind of stupid did they do with their own laws?
I'm trying to see where on here. I'm not seeing anything that says that it actually got completed.
Yeah, because Beard, if you're gonna
okay, what kind of stupid are they about to do then?
Okay,
well, we don't
what,
we
so
don't know.
what's
But
been
if
done?
you're gonna haul ass, let's talk. We can go back to this stuff, folks. I mean, we can talk about getting drunk and how to cure it anytime. So, Beard, if you want to answer that, that's fine. I don't care about going into it now. People are going to be around after we're done talking serious shit. And we can go back to the fart jokes.
It's all good. I can summarize it pretty effectively. So what's going on right now is there's ridiculously already strict and specific hate laws with vague punishments in Canada. We do have thought police. We've had them for a long time. Now, in addition to these universal and specified hate crime topics, Islamophobia is being added into this itself. Not the hatred of Islam, but actually now the criticism of or fear of. Not a rational fear. If you say anything that's dislike or criticism, it could be a hate crime punishable by ridiculous sentences. It's a giant pain in the butt, and it's being pushed through by a woman representing Justin Trudeau, who is an immigrant from Pakistan who fled a Sharia country and is now trying to put Sharia law into place in Canada. The motion was passed its initial process and accepted by the Supreme Court for evaluation and future voting upon in March. It hasn't been, I'm not seeing anything that says that it's been cleared through yet. It's just going through the different steps of Parliament. There are still many steps left in which it could be denied, and I'm really hoping that happens. And there's a strong push in the Conservative Party right now to see that remanded, and if they should get into power, completely stripped away if it does get forced through by the Liberal Party.
Okay, just quick and dirty answer to this. I'm going to speak in the name of all of the members of the server hosting companies inside Canada. Thank you for destroying our competitivity by making us being less capable of furnishing freedom of speech to our customers. Thank you for destroying our industry government. Bravo.
No shit.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Especially given that, on top of that, server farms in Canada are already financially in trouble and not really that attractive pricing-wise.
Deck train, that was funny. I'm sorry, that was good. But so are we going to stick on that? Because I see the Britishers. I haven't looked at this link yet. But I definitely want, because we could easily dribble from this topic into the net neutrality and whatever the Prime Minister of England is trying to do right now. But how about Assange, Britisher? What the hell, man? I mean, is that what you sent me? And if not,
what I just sent you there was the manifesto of the Conservative Party. So if you go into there, there is some really, really scary stuff at the very back of the manifesto. Which basically is kind of what they are promising to be, do, and say once they're in the government, if you know what I mean, which they already are, but this is once they're elected. And particularly when it comes to sort of the last bit, framework for data and digital economy, it gets really, really scary. So it was I just thought it was an interesting sort of segue from the Canadian experience, because over here similar, perhaps even more terrifying moves are afoot.
damn, Brett, you know what? Dop took it. I kicked Dop out after a half hour. He told me he messed up on some work stuff, and I know him. If I hadn't oppressed him like I did today, he would probably still be here. I can hear your voice, mate. Go have a cup of tea and chill and watch the telly or something.
I'll happily read you a little bit of it. If
go ahead, mate, but don't wear yourself out, man. You've been burning.
Okay, no problem. I think my voice might just sound like this because I've just sort of come from the swimming pool.
Okay, I just worry about you, mate. You work a lot.
So some people say it is not for government to regulate when it comes to technology and the internet. We disagree. While we cannot create this framework alone, it is for government, not private companies, to protect the security of people and ensure the fairness of the rules by which people and businesses abide. Nor do we agree that the risk of such an approach outweigh the potential benefits. It is in the interests of stable markets that consumers are protected from abusive behavior, that money is able to flow freely and securely, and that competition between businesses takes place on a level playing field. It is in no one's interest for the foundations of strong societies and stable democracies, the rule of law, privacy, and security, to be undermined. Now, I'll just skip to the last paragraph.
What page is that, sir, before you continue? Where are you going to go to so I can follow along with you?
So basically, this is a framework for data and digital economies. I think it's page 80. Is it? Oh, Christ, it says 88. It sort of says 85-80, 84-85.
Close enough, I'll find it.
Yeah. So it's at the very back, really. And then you've got, what is it? I'm just trying to get this thing to work here. So the last paragraph basically says it all, because it's the last sentence that is just wonderful. By doing these things, a digital charter, a framework for data ethics, and a new international agreement, we will put our great country at the head of this new revolution. We will choose how technology forms our future. We will demonstrate, even in the face of unprecedented change, the good that government can do.
Good fucking God. Could those motherfuckers stop sucking on Satan's dick for once?
Yeah, well put.
Any more ominous?
Yes, it sounds Orwellian, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, they do know that was like a cautionary tale, right? Not like something that they should actually do.
1984 is not supposed to be a fucking manual.
The Independent has, I think, made an article. I'm trying to find it right now as we speak. You'll need to give me a few minutes, whereby they're kind of trying to spell out what this actually means between the lines, because this is very sort of vague terminology they're using, but Independent also knows what they're actually.
Of course, it's vague. They can't get away with it if they put down what they really mean.
Exactly, because they have to make it as broad spanning as
while
possible.
we're on this topic, have any of you seen Stefan Molyneux's video, "The Story of Your Enslavement"? It's like its most popular.
Spare me from him.
No.
It just reminds me
the man
so
who
much
made
of
a
that.
cult.
It sounds like a line from that video. It sounds like something that he would report.
Take the Stefan Molyneux character out of the picture and some his ID in some bullet points, because I'm not a fan.
No, I'm not. I'm afraid the man created a cult so that kids could divorce their parents and things. He's a very he's not exactly had a great history. You need to do a bit more research on the man.
Yeah. Ogre, I've put the link in the side chat to the internet article. I think the title alone will say it all.
Well, the thing is, British, don't forget that this is all going back to the days of TTIP. And that was, now going to be potentially quashed. Well, one of the major parts of TTIP was intellectual property right and the internet control. And what they're now trying to do, which is what worries me with this, once again, an additional extension on just getting the bloody Brexit through, that we're going to absorb all of these laws in about 2 years, or maybe by the end of this year. So we absorb all their laws. That means we're going to be taking this nonsense with us. We are going to absorb that as part of it. And she's already promoting it. So she's not going to reject it. It's all very disturbing.
I mean,
that's why we should never have gone to a general election.
That she came from the Home Office.
Seriously, they're gonna make Russian server hosting services being more like the Russian and the Chinese one, more interesting and more financially attractive and more legally attractive than any other web service hosting in the fucking world. Like, are they that desperate? Are they that desperate to get the new technologies away from them?
Iceland is probably the best one. Iceland's the best one currently.
Well, you see, what is happening is here in Britain, effectively the Conservatives know that they're going to be elected anyway. So the
But they're
people are
destroying.
not,
Yeah, but I
the
think that's
people,
false.
They are
You know, I
destroying
think
the
people are so keen not to get Corbyn
Yeah,
that
I
the government
think
in effect
people
know that people are willing to swallow this. And
No,
then the
I-
government will afterwards be able to claim that they have a mandate to do this because it was
Yeah.
in their manifesto.
Exactly, and this is one of the reasons that it should never have been taken. You remember the first conversation we had about, or the first altercation we had about this,
This
was
is
that
illegally-
this should never have gone to a general election issue. She had 2
Yeah.
years to do it. She was still going to be in power at the end of it. There was no need for a general election. This
I agree
is
with you on that,
masquerading.
yes.
It's absolutely hideous, and it shouldn't be happening in the first place.
Yeah, so how do you like
Damn
that?
disgrace.
How do you like
regardless,
that headline there?
regardless
Theresa
of,
May to create new internet that would be controlled and regulated by government.
Yeah, I don't like it at all, mate.
Looks like
There's
satire.
nothing that can go wrong.
regardless of which government we are talking about, them motherfuckers really don't understand how network technologies are working. On top of that, they are basically gonna destroy the internet. That's what they don't understand.
You see,
They're
they
gonna
already now have in place the fact that everyone's internet history is being collected and is going to be kept, I think, for 10 years.
Yeah, but
So
that is irrelevant.
they can retrospectively prosecute you for basically having looked at the wrong sites.
Having my
I just want to know what's next.
no
What's
seriously,
next?
seriously
What are
having,
they going to start doing to us next?
no, but having your data stored, you don't give a shit. Seriously, you don't give a shit as long as the data is inaccessible without a warrant. Okay, so they need to have a warrant in order to be able to access the data. So having storage of your data, who gives a shit? Your ISP has a storage anyway because it needs to have a storage anyway for operation. So they like even if it was even if it was crafted into the law, that's what I'm trying to tell you, Bridger, is that even if it was not crafted into the law, with the way networking technologies are working, storage of your history and of all of the transactions that you've been doing, it was already done. The logging was already done anyway for their own operation purposes, for the purposes of being able to operate and to scale down their services or scaling them up if need be. They needed to have data storage. So your history was already stored. You know what I mean, Britisher?
Yes, but now it is stored for the police.
Yes, now it's officially stored. You
Yeah,
see, now
now-
they're mandated to store it. They used to do it before because it was white data. Now they're doing it because it's a regulatory requirement. It's a very big difference.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
no,
sooner
I know.
or later they will be able to go on fishing expeditions. Basically, tell me everybody in Britain who has visited this site. And that's when we all start getting screwed.
I know, but that's exactly why I'm saying storing the data in and of itself is not a problem. Is that what do you do with the data and how do you access it?
Well, yes,
That's
but
what's the
that then
problem.
begs the question: if you haven't got that in mind, why would you store it in the first place?
For retroactive investigations, yes, but again, how do you access the data and how is the data being stored? Is it encrypted? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, if they want to be like, that's what this is what drives me crazy with all of those laws when it comes to informative technology. I want the people to go grab some network engineers and basically say, no, them motherfuckers, they know how the technology works and they're going to put you to the task. And if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, your bill falls through. You know what I mean?
Jeremy, I'll just put a link there in the site there in the side chat. It's some kind of revolutionary monster computer that Hewlett Packard has just created, and that is exactly the sort of computer that is effectively designed to deal with big data.
I've heard of this thing.
And
Yeah,
that's
I know.
exactly
I
the
know.
sort of thing we have to be terrified of.
It's a
Because
data mining
if you
system.
put machines like that combined with everybody's internet browsing data together, that's when it gets really scary.
It's already done, and
well-
it's actually done by your fucking bankers, for fuck's sake. You know how
well, yeah, but the thing is, it's the this is with your bankers. What they're going to do, you know, send you a potential mortgage application or whatever.
And
You
we
know,
have
we're talking
two-
about something rather more significant than a mortgage
Yeah,
application.
because we have two computer experts here right now. Cabbage Patch Bastard and Catherine are both computer experts. So
yeah, and me too.
help us understand how this could be evil or why it's so bad.
Cat Cabbage, I will let you go first.
Well, I was going to say that the point is that the data which is being collated and the way in which it's interpreted, we've already seen, you know, with the artificial intelligence algorithm systems that have been put in place, where I think it was Microsoft one, wasn't it? One day it was a Nazi, one day it was sexist, the next day it was a Nazi. Right, it was fucking shits and giggles. That was it goaded the thing into turning it into a Nazi. So. You know, and they claim these AI algorithms that, you know, these are not things to rely upon or depend upon.
Yeah.
They work on so many assumptions and so many, you know, presumptions within the parameters of the. It's not really neural networking. It's not really intelligence. It's just a simulation of filtering. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's heuristic. It's heuristic
iteration. Yes, heuristic. That's exactly what it is, and it's extremely dangerous because, you know, those sort of systems can be screwed with extremely easily. Extremely easily.
I agree with that.
Yeah. But again, like, that's what I was saying. Sorry for being raging and fuming. But anytime there is a bill regarding the internet in your country, you should go grab some network engineers and basically put your elected officials to the task of showing to you that they know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean?
Well, I agree to a degree, but I mean, like, yeah, they should at least have the access to the information and be capable of, you know, of actually, you know, understanding it. I don't think that everyone
await the day when Diane Abbott tries to explain what kind of computer systems she intends to install as Home Secretary once she's shadow Home Secretary, isn't it, for the Labour Party?
I'm looking forward to when she costs it.
Yeah, too. Yeah, that's too. Yeah. Yeah, put them to the task, for fuck's sake. Like, put them to the task. Like, basically, you talk with the network engineers, and very rapidly, you learn, like, how much sometimes basically storing data is completely innocuous, and sometimes it's not. Like, that's what you do with the data. Is it encrypted, so on and so forth? Like, how redundant is the entire infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, and very rapidly, the people are like, okay, so this is a very complicated subject. Now I want my representative to show me that they understand the subject, and that's how it falls through every time in France. Is that basically we put them to the task, show us that you understand the subject, and every time they fail. Like, seriously, this is something that really needs to be done. Like, if you are a good citizen and you are concerned about the conservation of your fundamental freedoms and your fundamental liberties on the internet, in your digital life, put your elected officials to the task. Force them to show you that they know the fuck they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. They usually don't.
Oh, absolutely. They generally are completely fucking clueless.
Yeah.
Like, how many judges have been caught with child porn in America recently? Like, in just a matter of 5 years, something like 7 with child pornography, and they're judges.
Yep.
And why? Because they were. And why did they? And how did they got caught? Because they were consulting those child pornography websites on their turf with the computer of their job.
And I gotta say, look, this is Friday. So what I'm going to do for Buttercup, nobody will be hurt if you got to split. But if you do split, try to come back in about another 40 minutes, because I'm going to let the Britisher and Jeremy are here now. And plus Cabbage Patch Bastard and Catherine, I'm just trying to find out what she knows about computers. So believe me, honey child, I'm not saying that they're boring me to tears, but I maybe have been crying a minute ago. No, but people need to hear this stuff. That's my funny way of saying it.
I wasn't saying that. I was just saying I got just maybe too drunk last night to throw anything of value into this conversation right here.
I'm listening, I'm trying, but I keep thinking of Bill Hicks, because here in about 40 minutes, we're going to pull the ripcord and float on down to Dick Joke Island, I guarantee you.
Well, we can always move
Jeremy,
on
are
to
you implying
Assange
that
if that's a little
that
more
the media in
well,
question was planted?
accessible than computerism.
I definitely wanted to talk about Assange, but I did feel like I probably shouldn't have said anything. I'm just, and look, Max Bear's here now. So this is it. I shouldn't have said that because it's a really good conversation. Jeremy, I think I sent you a message. I would like to have you host next Wednesday if you feel up to it and would like to.
Next Wednesday, I'm free for the entirety of the day, so you chose your day wisely, man.
Oh, that's great. So I talked to Dop, and of course he'll be there. I'll be there. The British will probably be popping. A lot of people will be popping in, but we'll talk about it privately now that you said yes. I just wanted to ask on air. I do that to people. I put them on the spot. So Britisher, you two were having a great conversation. But like I said, Buttercup, you can hang in here. If not, and I know you got to work, so I'm just going to shut up again. So, Cabbage, I know you got a lot to say too, mate. Thanks for coming by, Cab.
Yeah, I still want to hear what Jeremy has to say. Jeremy, are you implying that the media in general was planted on those judges as computers because they wanted to get rid of them?
Oh no, it has been counter-investigated left and right, okay. And it has been counter-investigated left and right, and those judges were actually like, it was not just inside their work computer. It was in other places that they've been using. Like they thought that they were anonymous and they thought that they were enough protected, but they were actually using some means of encryption, but they got detected anyway because they used, like, it's how they got to them. How they got to them is because they got to them through a computer that was far less securized, which was on their turf, which was on their job, inside the court hole, basically.
All right, Captain Copile, this is for you. Captain Copile's son just graduated from high school. Believe it or not, where he comes from, that's something. It really is. And it is, Copile. You know that so many of the boys around there are going off and doing that hillbilly heroin and whatnot. And I'm so proud of your son. Here's to your boy.
But sorry if I was yelling, but this is making me furious every time. Like every time I'm like,
kind of discerning.
I know that the subject of computers is really complicated, but we're talking about your fundamental liberties inside your digital life. The internet is your digital life. It's the digital life of everyone. Exactly. You should defend your citizenship also on the internet side of your life, especially given that the internet is now more and more part of your life. Now it's 50% of your life. 50%.
And when they say, well, you know, nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Well, do you have curtains? Would you like your bank statement to arrive on a postcard? I mean, why not, right? You've got nothing to hide, right? Why not?
Exactly.
Why do you need envelopes?
I love that analogy. Nothing to hide. Well, why do you have curtains, Cabbage? I'm going to remember that and steal it.
Use it all you like, mate. With my blessings. Seriously, I mean, this is the whole point about it. So the idea of security being in some way deviant is ridiculous.
I think it will become very interesting here in Britain when they turn off the porn. I think that's when reality will start sinking in. And I think that is also when consequences are going to start becoming apparent for the politicians. Because it will happen.
People are going to want to take
care of it. It doesn't matter to them. They've already got their laws.
It will happen. You said that like you know. I mean, it will happen? They're going to cut off the porn.
Oh yes, yeah. They definitely intend to turn it off. Yes.
There are actually inside the UK. I've talked with some people that are running some porn websites inside the UK. They're saying that's exactly why we're not fighting back. Like some of us decided to choose to not fight back so that it finally serves as a wake-up call. We know better than them. We know better than them, so we will not fight back so that people will finally get angry at them. So we don't fight back. We just basically, like, when people are going to ask us, hey, why is that type of content disappearing? Well, we can't do that anymore, mate. That's why.
Sorry, Byron, I just wanted to respond to a question that was in the chat. Byron, no, technically, well, I mean, he could leave the embassy anytime he likes, but the problem is that he's still under, he will be charged with espionage if he leaves. The rape charges are totally separate.
No, he won't be charged with espionage. This is Assange we're talking about.
Yeah.
No, it's not espionage. It's what it is basically he was basically bound to appear before court to effectively answer the extradition charges for him to be extradited to Sweden.
Right, so technically now he could be extraordinarily renditioned if they kick him out of the embassy.
Because he skipped bail, he now has to answer not having appeared in court. And they can basically, the maximum charge they can give him for that, the maximum sentence is up to a year in prison. So there is this irony that the original offense for which he was actually supposed to be having an extradition hearing, that has now disappeared. But now the extradition hearing itself has become the cause of the crime. So it's kind of catch-22. And once again, just like the Swedes, the British are again not willing to give him a guarantee that he would not be extradited to America should he surrender himself. Because that's what he's been asking for all along. And both the British and the Swedes have always used exactly the same excuse, namely to say that there hasn't been a request by the United States. But of course, we all know that no sooner is he in custody, such a request will materialize overnight.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Well, no, Klaus, I'm not saying that Assange is a saint, but at the end of the day, he has served, you know, the world. He's done the world a great service by providing us with information that we would never have otherwise been aware of.
When it actually comes to whether he is a saint or not, I don't believe there is any. I don't believe there is any truth to the allegations in Sweden.
Yeah, exactly. I think, you see, it's not we're trying to make him out to be a saint. What we're saying is he's not a demon. That's all. We're just not saying he's an angel or a demon.
I remember some years ago, his lawyers explained it on television. Now, we have to, of course, understand that this came from his lawyers, so they will always try and paint it in the best possible light. But it nonetheless had sort of the ring of truth about it. And that was that he was originally accused of this sexual misconduct of whatever it was, because rape is a very broad term that is used in Swedish law. So it's not necessarily the same thing as it is over here.
Well, it was also prostitute, so you have to throw that into the equation.
He was accused in Sweden. He had to hand over his passport, and they investigated him over there. Then they decided he has no case to answer. He was handed his passport back, and he was permitted to leave. This was supposed to have happened in Stockholm. So after he had then severely embarrassed the American government once again, suddenly, while he was in Britain, this re-emerged. But now, funnily enough, the charges, even though for the crime having been in Stockholm, were not emerging from the prosecutorial office in Stockholm, but from the prosecutorial office in Gothenburg. So this is the equivalent of kind of, you know, my being accused of having committed a crime in London, but it's the prosecutors in Manchester who are charging me. Something was fishy right from the beginning there. Then when they arrested him, the first thing they did is stick him in solitary confinement, which again, nobody really understood what was going on. Finally, when it kind of became self-evident that there was something really dodgy going on, he skipped bail and headed toward the Ecuadorian embassy. And that's where he's been ever since. So that seems to be the story, as I understand it at least, up until now.
Do you know why the Ecuadorian embassy gave him...
because he was friends with the president.
Oh, okay.
He was a personal friend of the president.
Yeah,
the problem is the president
that he wouldn't have
in Ecuador.
A lifeline.
I also have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you said that it was the difference between something happening in Stockholm and then Rothenburg being the ones that brought up the charges against him, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does Sweden not have jurisdictional boundaries, like say in the United States, where that's not necessarily a good thing or appropriate thing for them to be doing, or is it a country-wide jurisdiction?
it must be something like I mean, I don't. The honest answer to that is I don't know.
I believe they were using the NATO connection
Something
Okay.
like that.
to justify.
Because otherwise, I don't see how Gothenburg could have brought the charges for something that Stockholm had already looked at.
Yeah, because that's incredibly shady, in my opinion. That doesn't make
Yes.
any sense why they would do that. If he committed a crime in one city and another city's bringing up charges, that just doesn't.
And as I say,
Very well
always
with me.
considering that he had already handed in his passport while he was in Stockholm, and they had looked at it and then handed him his passport back and told him you're free to leave. And then suddenly, when he's in Britain, charges emerge from a completely different city for the same offence.
Yeah, it's all
So
very,
it
very
looks very
dubious.
shady. It looks very, very dodgy.
Yes, I agree.
And you know, you basically look at it and you just go, given that he right from the start said, if the Swedes give a guarantee that I will not be extradited to America, I am willing to go there.
That's
And
right.
they simply refused to give it.
Yep.
They always kind of fell back on the same line of, we haven't had a request from the United States of America. Which, of course, everybody knew that was not what he was talking about.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, but that's the NATO connection with Sweden. That's the reason that the Americans won't give that. The Swedish won't give the agreement. It's because of the responsibilities that they have under the NATO agreement. So,
well, I mean, it's very, very strange even now that they should suddenly have withdrawn the charge, because nothing has changed. He is still where he is. He is still the same person. It has not reached a statute of limitations, and the person involved still maintains that she was a victim of rape.
I thought you'd retracted it.
No.
Well, there's two of them, wasn't there? There was two women, and one of them retracted it, and I'm pretty sure one of them did. Because apparently there's meant to be a menage a trois.
Yeah.
Isn't
It's
it
possible that one of them has retracted it, but I've definitely heard that one of them is still maintaining the story.
You know, isn't it weird to you people that every time when they don't have a good way to get to a man, the first thing that they go to is sex scandal?
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's how they got rid of a presidential candidate, didn't they, in France?
Yeah,
Not too long ago.
Yeah, DSK, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that seems to be a kind of almost.
It's kind of difficult to be elected president when you are sitting in a court of justice in the U.S. waiting for you to be heard. It's kind of complicated. So that's why he had to withdraw from the French presidential election. And actually, for those of you who didn't know, had this sex scandal not happened, he would have been president. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was the front runner in all the polls, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the front runner in all the polls. Indeed.
And then suddenly there was an allegation, wasn't it, by a cleaning lady, I think, in a hotel.
Yeah, by a maid in a hotel, and
eventually that was then suddenly withdrawn and all was forgotten.
The charges were dropped.
Yeah, but by that time, of course, his political career had been shattered.
Not shattered, but basically he was not president anymore. And he basically decided to say, you know what, if you're going to be like this, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to be out of France for something like 10 years. Like, he decided to self-exile, to basically give the finger to everyone. Decided to give the middle finger to everyone. Say, if you're going to be like this political class of France, fuck y'alls, I'm out. That's
yeah, sounds a bit like some of the ancient political class of Rome. When things became too poisonous, there was actually several rather large politicians that basically decided, screw this, I'll attend to my gardens, thank you very much.
I can't. I don't have a bell to ring. Cabbage Patch. I don't have a fucking bell to ring. Oh, can y'all hear me? Is my mic on? All right, man. That's enough. It really is. I love y'all, and this is so much fun. The reason I did this, Britisher, you know, it wasn't so I could just get drunk and moon people, even though I like to do that from time to time.
Yes, it was. Admit it. Be honest.
No, but
Professor.
that's not the only reason. The reason I did this is because once in a while I run into people like are here right now. But with respect to the people that are here right now, especially you, Carrickle, were you going to say something? I just seen you mute and unmute. So if you got something to say, speak up, brother.
I don't have anything to say at the moment. You can continue, man.
Oh, okay. Well, because what I'm going to do is segue away from this topic. So if you got something that we've been talking about, that, you know, just let me know in any way that you can. But look, this has been fun. And by what I mean by that is very informative. It was like watching PBS or something, you know. It was like watching Face the Nation. Y'all ever watch Face the Nation? Riveting show. Riveting show. Just beautiful. How about Meet the Press, the longest running show on news show in America? Riveting. I mean, I sometimes on Sunday morning when I'm watching Meet the Press, I can't fucking leave my seat. It's
What's
unreal.
the premise?
Oh, what I'm saying is I've had enough of this, really, because it's Friday and I'm only going to be here for now what's dwindling down to a shorter amount of time. And Britt and Jeremy, I like you guys, man. You guys are so smart. I'm trying. Does that work for me? I'm trying the new phrase, you guys. Because I get razzed around here for saying y'all all the time, and they're like, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Can I ask a question? Who knows the plural usage of y'all? How do you say y'all plurally?
I always thought that would have been the plural.
No, it's not. I'll tell you. That's so the British beard Barian. Do you know the plural form of y'all?
Yo.
No,
I
I don't
think we
know.
can take that as a no.
Nobody? Okay, yeah, nobody. Well, it's all y'all. That's how you say the word. All y'all.
All y'all. Right. That's
Y'all
kind of
is-
like that, but that's a tautology, really, isn't
Well,
it?
but all y'all is singular and hillbilly. That's singular. When I say how y'all doing, I mean how are you doing? So if I say how all y'all, that means how is everyone over there?
That's just why we should be concerned about the American education system.
I'm waiting to hear the presidential address.
I thought
in
it
which
was.
the
I
president
thought the
begins,
plural was
"All
"How's your
y'all."
mama" and them.
All y'all, Brett, that'll be great if he's like, listen here, all y'all. If Trumpy does that, because he was saying, he was saying Russia, and in his speech, somebody's telling him he can't say Russia, because that's very New York. If it ends in an A, they say So
Maybe he'll do it when he holds his speech on Islam in Saudi Arabia.
I thought he already did that. I was trying not to watch. He is over there, 16,000-mile trip, and he's doing all this shit. Can you believe it, man? And Melania's going to be there, Brett. Are they going to make her wear a hijab? I'm so glad you brought that up. Because I was talking to Jenny. I was like, can you imagine that Melania's going to meet some hoity-toity, puffed-up prince that is actually just a glorified goat farmer because they found out they had oil beneath their feet? Is she going to put on the thing, Brett? You know, the scarf? And like,
It doesn't matter. She'd look good in a fucking bin liner.
It would be. I think it would be political suicide for Trump if Melania wore one of those things.
no, do you think they could get her to, mate?
I don't think so.
Not a chance in hell. You must be joking. She's next model. She's used to showing herself off. The last thing she wants to do is
Yes, but they've got lots of pointy soles and things like that over there.
I look at that, and you Brits are not going to like this, but I look at the idea of her doing that just like I would imagine Queen Elizabeth putting on a fucking no.
Or out of
Why does the Queen never goes there? They have to come here.
or out of spite, she will wear one, but with the most atrocious motive possibly imaginable, to the point that it will be like, okay, you know what, lady, take it off. You know what I mean? Like, so unbearable to
Yeah, she can kind of come on with a kind of hijab with the slogan "Long live the Shia religion."
Nice one, Beard. Nice one. Hey, how about a duel, Beardy? What a duel. Here you go, Max Bear.
Oh my God, things are really descending.
Hey, I said the news was over. I was jealous, Brett. Max Bear asked to see the Beard Barian's tits, and he always asked to see mine. I was jealous.
But yeah, like I can imagine that if they piss her off, like if they insist so much, I can imagine her basically going into a shop and trying to find the most egregious motive possibly imaginable, like the most pissing off stuff, to the point that the dudes themselves will go like, okay, take it off.
Sort of neon green.
No, I don't know, but basically figuring out something that would be painful to watch, literally, like painful to have around her head.
Maybe a Charlie Hebdo cartoon inspired one.
Buttercup, you're killing me right now.
What?
Oh yeah, and Silk, I just seen Buttercup. So look, I obviously am out of my mind and doing things that are embarrassing my brother, my confidant, and my co-host, the Britisher. Buttercup, is there something you would like to talk about that has nothing to do with this nerd shit we've been on for like an hour?
No.
Damn it!
I don't.
Sometimes you roll the dice and you just hope for the best. That's what I did.
Wow, you got snake eyes.
Shoot for the stars.
Well, we were talking about hangover cures, and the Britisher mentioned something. He's like, well, the best hangover cure is don't drink. So I'll say this. The chairman of the board once made a statement, and he said, you know what? I feel bad for people. I hope everybody knows who the chairman of the board is. I feel bad for people that don't drink, because when they wake up in the morning, that's as good as they're going to feel all day.
There you go.
Ogre, do you want to hear what hangover, the word for hangover is in Afrikaans? It's a pretty awesome word.
I do.
Babbelas.
Bubble ass.
Bubble ass is what I heard.
Babbelas.
Bubble ass.
Yeah.
Blah. Interesting.
In other words, your butt is going bubble ass?
No. It's nothing to do with your butt. No.
Oh, okay. All right. It did sound like, because when Jeremy, he don't even, that's, English is not even his first language. When he thought it was bubble ass, I did too. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's in Africa.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
It's in Afrikaans, so it's kind of Dutch or Flemish. Well,
yes, it's kitchen Dutch. It's like a sing-songy Dutch. Yes, it's not even 100 years old.
So it's kind of Flemish.
It's kitchen Dutch. But what I want to know is, I think that
is it a kind of composite word, or is it one single word?
It's one word. I put it in the side chat.
Yeah, I see that. Babbelas. Do you feel like you've missed out on anything, Britisher, for not? I mean, don't you ever wonder what the allure is? Or I guess the better question would be, why is it that you never got caught up in the allure of it? Because most people I know that don't drink, they do about 3 or 4 times a year. They have their thing that they, whatever the reason, and they have their drink they drink, and they get fall down drunk. But you, I have to say, are one of 2 people that I know that never been drunk in their life. I think that's enough of a question.
I would identify myself as quite a curious person, but I've never been curious about taking drugs or drinking alcohol. Somehow the idea of messing with my mind has never appealed to me.
Open the doors of consciousness now.
I would agree with that.
Have a new experience.
After I posted that word, I also Googled it, and the first article that came up was how to get rid of it, how to get rid of a hangover. So it's all
and the recipe and the rest. Like I know a little bit. I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to pronounce the words orally, but I know my Flemish in written form, so I know how to read it a little bit. It's very close to Flemish. It's very Afrikaans.
It's also published on the website of the South African Sun.
Oh my God! The recipe sounds awful.
No, I just think it's funny that it's Marmite, not Vegemite, but because I've had
it's got to be Marmite.
Marmite is the original.
Well, and it's also much better. I've had both, and Vegemite is so overpowering. Yeah. You can't really eat much, but what you've seen on the toast there that I just presented with Marmite, you can actually put some on there, and the taste is, I think, quite pleasant.
No, Marmite is pretty big in South Africa.
Never had it.
Yeah, Vegemite is a Aussie thing.
It is.
It's not a South Africa thing. It's an Aussie thing. Vegemite.
Isn't Marmite though completely English?
Marmite
got it from Britain, yes.
Vegemite is Australia.
I just saw the
Britisher has some desire to smear himself in Marmite and walk on a tightrope. I heard him say.
Out of curiosity, what is Marmite or Vegemite? Can somebody please explain?
I just told you it's the thing that the Britisher wants to smear himself in while he walks on a tightrope.
It's a yeast extract.
It's a yeast.
No, it's not good for women. Yeah,
it's a byproduct. It's something where they found a use for a byproduct from the brewery industry.
Okay.
Beer comes from beer.
Oh,
Right.
sounds
Then
good.
it's gorgeous.
When you go into the lauter tun and you're fermenting beer, when you pour the mixture off to go into your I can't remember what the other tun is, but the next tun that's going to boil it, and what you have left in the bottom is this black stuff. It's the reproductive stuff of yeast, basically. And they found out that it's super nutritious. It's actually really, really good for you. And let's face it, man, when they invented Marmite, you couldn't throw anything that fit those descriptions away. You couldn't do it. Because if you had something that, and plus, if you put it in a jar, it lasts for millennia. So I mean,
it is copulation poop from yeast bacteria.
Yep.
Yeah, basically. And I tell you, it tastes so good. Well, no, it is one of those things you either love it or you hate it. It's absolutely true. So you know, there is no people who are in between saying, "Nyeh."
Okay.
Well, actually,
Somebody said earlier that it's bad for women. Why is it bad for women specifically?
Well, I don't know, yeast infections or something.
No.
Okay. No.
I think
Yes, that's exactly how it
he
works.
knows that's bullshit.
Just don't rub it in your
Just eat
cunt.
yogurt, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
Women
beer,
rarely
just
like
don't
it,
rub it
though.
in your
Seriously.
poo nanny nanny and
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
I just saw
What kind
the
of yogurt?
article that I shared. They use two terms. They use the Babelas term, but they also use another term, Vingertgriep, which means like vineyard fever.
Vanilla creep.
Yeah, he's killing me. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, vanilla creep. We got fruit or something. And
No,
then
it's like
vanilla
this.
creep. You're making this shit up as you go along, aren't you?
Vanilla creep. Yeah, I don't know, man. The Dutch, he's Flemish or whatever.
I think Jeremy has just infarcted.
Oh God! He just needed to. He didn't need to translate when he said it. I you know, my brain just immediately go, "Wow!"
Man, that's one of them words too. Wender, gerp. Oh fuck.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like Dutch is like Swedish. It's like, you know, the Swedish chef in the Muppets. It's I mean, it's just fucking noise. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even believe they understand.
They don't
That's
even-
why they all speak English.
Yeah, they don't understand it, mate. It's just like the doggone Japanese, man. Nobody understands that shit. They speak English when nobody's looking. That's just to confuse us round eyes.
Exactly.
Just for the sake of the shits and giggles for a while. Conscious Caracol, do you know how two villages that are more than 10 kilometers away from one another in Belgium, who both speak Flemish, but there's nothing in between, do you know how they communicate with one another?
I actually have no idea.
They speak in French. They speak in French. They speak in French because the Flemish, the local flavor of Flemish on each side is strayed away so far from the actual pure Flemish that they have to speak in French in order to be able to understand each other.
I mean, we have variations within Afrikaans, but not to that extent. We can understand each other.
How old is actually the fact that, you know, France all speak French? Because I heard something once that around the days of Napoleon, something like 80% of the French didn't actually speak what you would today class as French.
Yeah, we were still having very local languages still being practiced heavily during the days of Napoleon. But Louis the 14th still already did a lot of the legwork, a lot of it. Napoleon was just finishing it, was just putting the final blow to destroy local parlance. The only two things that survived was Occitanie and so the Occitan language and the Breton, because Breton was literally not a Roman language. It was a Caledonian language, just like Gaelic and what Scots are speaking, which is Caledonian.
Yeah, and the Basques, the French Basques, do they speak sort of still?
No, the Basque is still is vanishing really quickly. Like, thankfully, Spanish people didn't give up and continue to speak it. Thankfully, the Spanish people keep it alive, because in France, no, it was actually struck down really badly.
Do the Corrs, the basic Corsica, do they actually have an own language, or?
Yeah, Corsican. Yes, it's still. It's actually a mix between. Italian and what was spoken in Sicily.
Yep.
So it's very weird because there's nothing like it. There's really nothing like it.
So chances are the reason Napoleon didn't get rid of that is because he came from there.
Oh, if he did that, every single Corsican would have turned their back on him. And on top of that, he took his nanny with him, and his nanny refused to speak a single lick of any Roman language of France.
Plus, yes, as you say, the Corse seem to have a reputation for not being a very forgiving people.
No, 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 they are full of spite.
I think we've drained this one. Ogre, do you want to bring up a new subject before we bore everyone to death with
I
linguistics?
I tried like 5 times though, so I'm just going to keep. What I would say is, I'm not going to put Beard
I have a
Baron on the
question
spot
for
like that.
Ogre.
Yeah, please.
Let's talk about nipples and penises.
Okay, it's actually a question for Ogre and Beardarian because they're the only connoisseurs I know on this panel. Do you guys get weed hangovers?
Weed hangover? No such thing. Now,
Have you
don't get
never
me
heard of
wrong.
that?
If you're new at it and you smoke,
No,
a lot-
I'm not asking if it's a possibility. I'm asking, do you guys experience
No.
it? Because I know people who experience it.
Yeah, but a weed hangover wouldn't be the next day. A weed hangover would be you got high, and as you're coming down, you feel a
I
little
didn't
weak.
imply that a hangover kind of implies that it's the next day, like with alcohol. I mean, just after a session.
Right. No, okay, yes. Sometimes if you get really stoned, me personally, whenever I'm not stoned anymore, I can get a little disconnected and start to come back to, I don't want to say reality, but back to a place of lesser awareness. Because if anything, marijuana increases your awareness because perfect paranoia is perfect awareness.
I will speak for myself with my very limited experience with pot. The only times where I experience some form of an hangover with pot is when I have sex right after having a joint, and during the sex, it really is really good. But once you have basically climbed down from all of the good feeling, like that's the moment where the headache, the massive migraine kicks in. Yes.
What can I say?
Okay,
There is
I
that
had the exact
expression.
same experience, but without the migraine.
There is that
And
expression that says too much information. But yeah, okay.
I was going to say, isn't there actually...
Beard Baron was expressly asked. So,
Is it-
Cabbage, before you answer, Beard, you were expressly asked.
Much like with alcohol, if you don't consume too much, you won't fuck yourself up and have a hangover. That includes being burnt out afterwards. It also depends on the variety that you're smoking. If you're
Yes, of course.
Well, I was just about to ask, are there
that's true.
certain strains
Well,
of marijuana that are more likely to cause it?
there's
I
there's
think it
basically
just
one.
shows. I think it shows
I would
the French for what they are, really.
It's so tough when you got so many people in here. So if there is a difference, Beard Baron, what strain might be more prone to make you? Because I think we'd be on the same page.
I would guess
It's-
sativa.
No,
Oh.
actually, you'd be wrong.
No, yeah.
An easy way to remember it
Point
is
he's
you've got
making it.
sativa and into couch.
Yeah, but you see that
Thank
what Jeremy was saying, like, you know, you get this sort of headache or whatever afterwards. The French, don't they have that term for it, le petit mort,
No, that's because
Yeah.
which is the after sex. So that just tells you everything you need to know about the French. You see,
It's because
everything
they
you need
mixed
to
it
know
with
about.
tobacco. French
No,
people.
no, you're not listening, Ogre.
No,
They actually have a phrase for the post-sexual
Petit mort, I heard you.
experience, the little death.
yeah, I
So
heard.
that shows you, to begin with, what the French mentality is going to be. And it doesn't matter whether they're high or not. So, you know what I mean?
Well, but since
you
the
just
Beard
get
Baron's skipping out, I'm going to reiterate what he said. What you want to remember is indica is into couch. And yes, if you smoke a lot of indica and you don't smoke marijuana, like the Beard Baron and I probably do, you're an amateur. Get a fucking life. Don't try to smoke a doobie of indica of like Blue OG. I grow it. If
You'll
you
melt
don't
to the
smoke much
floor.
pot and you sit down and smoke a blunt of Blue OG with me, you're done. Game over. And when you're done
For the
being high,
complete-
game over then too for about another.
For somebody who knows absolutely nothing about it, when you say blue OG, I mean, what do we have to expect here?
That's a combination of blueberry and OG Kush, original gangster Kush, both indicas that can trace their genetics all the way back to the Kush Valley in Afghanistan, Pakistan. Now I'm gonna have a brain fart. But it's in the Kush Valley and the Kush Mountains anyway. And that's a land race variety that man has known about for at least 6,000 years. The other sativas, they also originate in very close place, but in India, most of them. The sativas, even though India and indica sound the same, remember, they're not. India, they smoke the crema. They don't even smoke marijuana. They go through and they rub the plants with their hands, and they get, one guy can usually get, if he's good, can get 1 gram an hour of just the oils off the plants by hand. You can look this up on Greenhouse Seeds. It's called Strain Hunter. If you never heard of Strain Hunter, go check it out on YouTube. Greenhouse Seeds. I actually grow one strain that comes from those boys there in Greenhouse. Excellent place. So there's all different kinds of ways to use it. But remember, if you're smoking marijuana for pain or because you have problems with post-traumatic stress disorder, try to find a 100% indica, because if you use sativa for those things, it'll make it worse. But if you're trying to deal with a problem with motivation and the lack of stamina, well, then go get yourself some 100% indica, like purple Durban poison, and that will help you get through your work day and give you some bright ideas.
So
yeah, I will further down to explain to British, like, for example, if you would to go to Amsterdam in a coffee shop that actually sells pot, you would probably have a, like a menu, a cart, a selection of everything, and they would be classified between 3 regions of the world. If you want to, for the regions of the world where they get their stuff from, basically they would what they call Moroccan is either coming from Morocco or they grow it themselves, but it actually comes from Moroccan seeds. Generally, it's beginner stuff, and anything that comes from Afghanistan and Pakistan, yeah, you need to be an experienced smoker in order to touch that stuff.
Okay. So what do they mean when they speak of skunk? Because that is, we're always told on the news here that skunk is the strongest, one of the stronger varieties.
No, it's not a strain. It's not. Go ahead.
They're actually a skunk number 1 and skunk number 2. But the fact of the matter is, they don't even. A skunk is just a way to say, because some strains of marijuana smell like a skunk's asshole, but skunk is a way to say really good pot. It's like saying BC bud. Who here can say what BC bud is, Beer Baron?
Delicious.
And but it is not a specific strain. BC bud is talking about Kelowna, Canada. It means it came from Kelowna. It could be any number of strains. It could be sativa or indica. It just means some Canucker from fucking Kelowna made that shit, and it's the whoop. And that's what skunk means. It's really good marijuana.
Yeah, Britisher, when you hear a policeman in Great Britain telling you that this particular pothead had skunk on him, it was really hardcore stuff. Like, it means that motherfucker's been smoking for a long while.
Okay, so it basically just means
it's pretty out of it when he was arrested.
But it's not a particular strain or anything.
No, it's not
remember,
a particular.
don't believe the hype, Brett. I've got to say this very quickly. Don't believe the hype, because I know there is a worse charge for skunk in Great Britain. But Jeremy just said it really good. When somebody has skunk on them, they want good marijuana, and they have good marijuana. Does it make anything happen? Will somebody stab their mother, or does it? No, it's fucking, there's not. Marijuana is the best substance that you can
the comment is that up here, skunk is what we use to describe shitweed.
That's funny, because here too, mate,
it's skunk.
Same here, mate. And that's so weird when I hear these people talk about skunk means garbage here too.
Yeah, the reason I ask about the skunk is because, if you listen to the BBC, you kind of get this impression that skunk is you would get the impression it would be a particular strain, which now we've established it isn't.
No, it's not.
They also constantly try and reinforce this line that skunk is the type of marijuana that is much more dangerous in terms of causing psychosis,
because
paranoia, things like that.
No, marijuana causes psychosis. So
No. Let me respond to British here, because I know about what's being practiced in Europe and in Great Britain. So, basically, what they're talking about and what they're referring to is that the breeders who grow that type of marijuana doesn't give a shit about the quality of the marijuana. What they give a shit about is the quantity of THC that is contained in it. So it's a high quantity, it's a high dose of THC. It's a really high dose of THC, but the quality of that THC is generally dubious.
So
Basically.
in what way does the quality of the THC
Because
differ?
THC is just like caffeine. It can take various different tilts. Basically, the molecule is structured in such a way, and it's such, a complex molecular structure that it can take various different shapes. For example, like
Okay, so
basically, it's the same molecule. It's the same group of atoms combined together, but they can take very different shapes. And at this particular point of concentration that they're talking about, a lot of those molecules are not the shape that Mother Nature make them to be. Basically.
okay, but how would that arrive in a plant? If it's not the shape of something that Mother Nature would make it, how the hell would it arrive? How the hell would it naturally grow?
Through genetical engineering breeding.
Okay.
So basically, no, seriously, there is such a thing as GMO pot. It's practiced in Morocco, and it's actually the type of, basically in the region of the Rif in Morocco, they tolerate growing pot. They really tolerate growing pot, but anything that is...
Jeremy, I think I have to stop you because I think we're beginning to lose them. Beardbarian is waving blue aliens at the camera, and in return someone else is cracking up on camera.
Yeah, it's entertaining though. He's got a mask on now.
Yeah, we're back to the commedia dell'arte here.
Oh, what are you doing, Beardbarian?
I'm entertaining myself while y'all talk random shit with my little puppet mini-me.
Okay.
That's fucking surreal.
Do you question the validity of what's happening over here in Europe or whatever?
I question everything.
Does it function as a voodoo doll as well?
Given that we were just talking, given that we just established that the Beardbarian smokes the occasional bit of pot.
Are any of you surprised?
Tell everybody that it doesn't have any side effects. Maybe he is not making. Maybe he is not really making an all too good argument for that at the moment.
Secrets.
Side effects.
Is he made with real beard hair?
No, it's not.
Too
I
bad.
would never commit such apostasy.
That would be funny though. Having a doll
Yes.
of yourself, which
Or it could be subject to all sorts of crazy magic spells and things.
Yeah, that's been made
Explain
out
your
of your
mask.
essence.
yeah, it's been made out of your own beard. The hair of the doll
Well, yes,
is made out of your
talking
own
of
beard.
beards, earlier when you were talking of various new laws being introduced in Canada that might screw what you're allowed to say on the internet, I was wondering whether, just like with Count Dankula, we would one day have to witness the spectacle of the Beardbarian shaving his beard live on camera.
Oh man.
That will never happen.
Why would you?
Never.
Why would
1,000
you?
subs, you do it.
Why would
No.
Beardarian have to shave on camera? Why would he have to shave
Well,
on camera?
just in
Because
case
his
it
beard
ends
is a
up
sign of
being the
oppression.
Canadian Dankula.
Oh, they couldn't make me shave to go to court. That's not happening. I'll just do the metalhead thing and braid it.
No,
put some
and he
glue
shaved
in
for
it.
a job, not court.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't shave for a job either. I have very strict regulations on that. I've presented different companies with the contracts required if they want me to shave my beard, and none of them have taken me up on it because it's quite expensive and lucrative. Because I'll do it, but there are loopholes in law. Do I need to handle food? Give me a beard net, for fuck's sake. I don't have to shave my beard off.
Beardbarian, why? Can you tell us the story why you have a miniature of yourself?
Or the mask.
Yes, actually, this before I started doing YouTube, I was doing a lot of this stuff, doing puppet shows. These were actually made by my missus to use as a character persona, where I would do entertaining, witty puppet shows for small children. And the whole character's appearance was based upon 14th century Italian kind of courtly bullshit. So I had a big codpiece that had fluff on it and stuff, and a big giant hat and all sorts of fun things. But the mask was meant to represent the trickster duality, while being the mask of somebody who's poor and not very skilled. So I just made this basic shape and fit it around. So it's enough that if you see them in the dark and someone's leering in, it's fucking creepy. But if you're up on stage with some puppets and stuff, it's weird, but you're more of an act.
Is that leather, sir?
This is the first mask that I made.
But it's
I
a
love
mask.
it, dude.
It's a mask inspired by one of those old Italian commedia dell'arte masks, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I've definitely inherited the Italian.
Know that shit. I would just say that I wouldn't want you anywhere near my fucking children. No, I'm just teasing. I'm only teasing. No, I think it's amazing that there are people that are adults and would be, because when you said cod piece,
French. I thought they were
some
Venetian.
parents would be like, "Oh, he's got a cod piece," but you know
It
what?
wasn't a giant one. It was just for the costume. Like I had the curly toed,
I know,
everything in the tights. Like
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying that, people they've lost their sense of humor. People try to shelter children too fucking much. Let your children be kids, and let people like the Beard Baron come and put on puppet shows for them. It'll make them better humans. It really will.
Well, yeah, it was all the puppet shows. The same way that my fables are based in teaching lessons, all of my puppet shows and kids stuff are also based in teaching legends too. What I'm doing on YouTube is just the stuff I'm doing for adults, and the stuff that I'm trying to do with kids, because I've mentioned in other things, children are our only hope for the future, as far as I'm concerned. I take the time to one-on-one and in little groups try and influence them to be better people, and the puppet shows are a really good way to do that. Kids have lots of fun. I'm just digging up a picture here of the hilarious outfit so you can see what it is that I wear sometimes when I'm doing this shit.
So children are our hope for the future. Not Hillary
As far as
Clinton.
I'm concerned, yes. No, fuck that bitch.
Yeah, no. How about queer
Yeah,
kids?
baseball
I
bat made of
didn't know
sulfur
we got
and rusty
Tom in
nails.
here. Thanks for joining us. Buttercup. Oh, you folks ain't said much, Catherine. Just bulldog, man. You're in here with a bunch of alpha males.
If
and
you
whatnot.
guys have
We
like
really
a
are
specific
we're-
topic you want to discuss, go for it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that, Cece?
No, I said if they have like a specific topic they want to discuss, they should go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you're in here with a bunch of alpha males that think we're the only people that matter. So if you don't speak up, please keep bulldogging you.
You think you matter.
Well, given that we were talking about, byproducts before with Marmite, I just sort of, it reminded me of something about, how the British invented chocolate. And that was when, in the early days, really, chocolate was only consumed as drinking cocoa.
Yeah.
And Fry's
Fantastic
chocolate.
emperor that drank like 13 cups of chocolate every day.
Yep. And
Montezuma.
Fry's, the Fry's Chocolate Company, I think they're in York. They had they came upon a problem, and that was that when you basically you've got the cocoa bean and you process the whole thing, and you make cocoa powder. Well, invariably you're going to end up with a lot of cocoa butter.
Yeah.
So because that was simply the byproduct, they chucked that down the drains. Well, sooner or later, of course, it began solidifying in the sewers, and it started blocking the sewers.
Yeah. Cocoa
So
butter.
they then the council elders really kind of came to the company and said, "Look, you can't keep doing this.
Find
This
a
is
use-
ridiculous. You'll have to find another way of disposing this stuff
Yeah,
of this
find,
stuff."
Find a use for it.
So obviously, some bright spark then in the company said, "Well, look, why don't we combine it with the cocoa, and then we sell the thing as blocks, and people can break off from the blocks and drop it into their hot water and dissolve it like that. So they get a bit of cocoa butter whether they know about it or not." Well, within a week or two, they suddenly had a huge bestseller on their hands. And they suddenly realized that people were actually eating the stuff. So it was a purely
That's the
accidental
magic
invention.
of first person just looking at that slab and just taking like a bite. Like I can't even wait to put it in my hot water. I'm just gonna take a fucking bunch.
Yeah, so basically that's how blocks of chocolate, that's how chocolate as we know it was actually invented.
And
It was
chocolate-
because they had a byproduct that they couldn't get rid of, so they decided to combine it.
And you need to understand, chocolate has always been a mechanized process. Manufacturing chocolate has always been mechanized. You can't you can't basically do it without without machinery, basically.
Okay, how do the South Americans do it then?
On a very small scale.
I would assume so, but did they not use stoning or maybe?
Yeah, but it was
That's not-
mechanized. Basically, you needed to, in order to get chocolate, and we're talking about solidified chocolate. We're not talking about hot cocoa and basically what they were drinking back then, the product of cocoa. Basically, we're talking about really modern day chocolate as like your tablet of chocolate. It has always been mechanized because basically for you to reach the solidification process, basically you need to be stirring up in a very regular manner. It needs to be literally it needs to be it needs to be a regular rhythm.
It's called conching. That's actually
conching.
the verb for it. Conching.
Yeah,
You need to stir, conch and conch. You kind of need to stir and stir, so it begins to combine on a molecular level.
Yeah, but for the conching to be effective, it needs to be regular, really like a fucking clock.
Yeah. And I believe the French are the country in a way that per capita eats most of the dark chocolate.
Yeah, we're addicted to the fucking thing.
So you don't really eat sort of the creamy chocolates or anything like that. You really want the sort of dark, bitter chocolate, don't you?
Oh yeah. Basically, over here, chocolate, any chocolate brand, like even some American ones that try to make a living over here in France in order to survive the environment, every single brand has to have a 75 cocoa chocolate, 75%, 80%, 91, and 95%. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I believe the Alpine people, they want kind of really creamy chocolate, don't they? I think it was F.L. Caille. He was the one who actually invented milk chocolate, and therefore, sort of in the Alps, Switzerland, Austria, the southern part of Germany, they stuff themselves with really creamy, kind of milky chocolate.
Yeah, because they were either adding milk or cream, like fresh out of the cow milk. We're talking like really creamy milk, like just freshly taken out of the cow milk. So it was still hot, and they were putting it into the conching machine, or they were putting caramel with butter, or both. So yeah, it gives you a very creamy chocolate at the end. Indeed.
I think we've killed them again, Jeremy, haven't we?
Yeah.
We go on our tangents and we lose them all.
That's okay. I'm going to interject on this
I'm here, it's
tangent.
just Friday. Yeah, do it, Beard.
Yeah. I'm going to interject. MC asked a good question. Why did the Beardbarian get into puppeting? So I want to answer that question really quickly. Puppeteering wasn't something that I really wanted to do. It was not anything that seemed like it was going to be fun. This is because most of what I do involves making lewd sexual jokes and parody songs and singing shanties like I drunkenly did on my stream yesterday. I do a lot of stuff with grown-ass people around bonfires, but a lot of my mates now have young kids that are 6 months to 3 years old, and there's lots of children around. And some of the larger events that we have, when we can finally all get together, the kids come along. And since I'm usually dressed up all bright and colorful and stuff because I'm the entertainer, kids will gravitate towards me, and I wanted to have something to offer them as well. And then I saw the potential there and rolled with it. But it was totally just I had something for other people's kids. I have no idea. Yeah, all for the children. Why not? I had nothing better to do, really, so I made a puppet stage. I have a shot of the puppet stage. I'm just going to show my...
I'll tell you that right now, with the Beardbarian come in. So how much of that played into your puppets? Were they only puppets like we just saw earlier, or were there just cut out 2 dimensions?
No, I didn't do the diorama stuff here. I did a full puppet show. I made this thing out of cardboard like a week beforehand. It was ridiculous and fun. I just use whatever I can as a stage. I've also got a box of old school traditional wooden puppets that I am
It almost
trying
looked
to
like
fix up.
it almost looked like a primary school level of genial stage.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It really clicks with kids. Like they love stuff that looks like it could be
Yeah.
theirs. So I'm
And
just
6
gonna-
months to 3 years old is pre-primary school. I mean, he's dealing with just little drooling infants and toddlers. That's
lots
very young.
of young kids, and like I was saying, I wear ridiculous outfits while doing it.
Do you ever do marionettes?
That's you right there.
That is me right there. That is one of my full costumes. Like I go all.
I'm
I
sure
wish
you
I
have
could come to
nothing
one
to
of your
say about
events,
that right there.
Barbarian.
That
I mean,
is
it's an awesome
badass,
outfit. Do you ever do marionette?
baby girl.
Not yet. I'm trying to learn how to do marionettes because I want to do
That's awesome.
creepy marionettes.
Don't
You
take
look
it down
like a
yet,
bit of
Beard.
a
I want my
real-life
wife to see
punch.
that. No,
Okay.
put that back up, please, sir.
Yep.
You look like a real life punch in that.
Do you have anything? Maybe my wife that says very little on here. Do you have anything to say to him about that? This is the first time you ever seen it. Does it suck? What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty nifty.
Yeah.
Barbarian,
like
do you have any
British
other
Railway.
pictures you can share with us?
Yes, I am.
That costume.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab another one here.
That costume looks almost like a creepy pantomime.
No, me. To
I
me, it
definitely
looks like-
strive for the borderline of creepy.
A puppet.
Oh wait, that's not a puppet show. That's actually where you're telling a tale, Beard.
Yes, I had. That was when I first unveiled one of my really, really belligerent, crude songs, and I'd finished the puppet show. I was really drunk, and the first thing I did was run up into the center of stage when people had stopped dancing and singing and stuff, and gone, "All right, are all the fucking children gone?" And that's the exact moment that this picture was captured.
Man, I want to know where I almost turned the camera on with my woman standing next to me, but I want to know where I can get involved in some stuff like that. I love theatrics. That is just making me salivate. That's beautiful, Beard.
You just got to find what's going on and show up. That's really it. If you, along with any type of community where there's anything entertaining or fun to be done, if you show up and you start doing something that's fun, you're part of the community and you'll be valued. And
yeah, I know. I was rhetorical because there's nothing like that around here, mate.
But I think there is one condition, isn't there, Beardbarian?
Got to be talented.
No, you need to keep your pants on.
You know what? With my particular group of friends, we have a phrase, and that phrase is min-spec, which means as long as you're wearing underwear and it looks appropriate, you're golden. And there have definitely been days where I'm swimming in the river in not but my underpants, and people jump out to try and fight me, and I will kill them in not but my boxers.
Beardbarian, one day I'm flying out to Canada and I'm going to attend one of your amazing events.
Yes.
All
Yes, you
right,
should.
Britisher, this is only for you, really. In fact, look, I don't know if anybody can even get in here right now, so I'm just going to say this. As it winds down, if you're listening and you want to get on this stream, I'm going to send this out twice, once right now and once without warning. And then to our panel here, especially Britisher, because I love you, brother, and I know we got Godbother in the chat, and I know if Godbother comes here, look, fuck you, Godbother. Britisher don't like you. It's because you're an asshole. But he could come on because he's also kind of entertaining while he's being an asshole sometimes. And if you're too much of an asshole, Beardbarian will just kick you out this time. So there you go. I'm going to chat this
He's
stuff
got
out.
no soul, and
Well,
he just
if you
wants to
guys
say
need
he's
an
shite every
extra
time.
place open on the
Boring.
panel, I'm soon going to opt out as well anyway.
Oh, and
so
other
there's-
people will drop
I'm gonna
off.
run away shortly too.
Yeah, the other people will drop off too. So whenever people want to, just boogie. Don't ever feel like you got to stay here. But like I said, it's Friday, and I shifted it from Thursday to Friday. So Friday will be a free for all Friday from now on, which means when it starts to wind down, I'm gonna just shoot it out. And yeah, I know, even though my disclaimer that I gave was so eloquent and so beautiful, there's still gonna be dickheads that come in. And yeah, God bother. If you can't take a joke, go fuck your mother.
If you don't, I will.
And I'll help. Okay, so now I said something about
I'll
God.
videotape it.
What's happening right now? Britisher has a cool cloth, and he's touching his head with it right now. And he's going, "My God, I can't believe I'm friends with this fucking bloody yank right here."
I just choked on one of my after eights.
Okay.
I haven't had an after 8 in years.
That's a soda pop, right?
No, after
it's
eight,
chocolate.
after eight is a minty chocolate that you have
Yeah.
with
Like
your coffee.
gooey
It's a
minty-
wafer
thin-
thin mint.
thin chocolate.
Oh,
Just
okay.
a one wafer thin mint.
It's incredibly expensive in
Mint
South
wafer.
Africa, so that's why I haven't had it that often.
Yeah, they're hideous, to be honest. They're not nice. They usually end up tasting stale.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to opt out anyway, so thanks. It was an awesome stream again.
Sure,
I'll see
appreciate
you
it,
guys
Carol.
on the next
Take
one.
it easy.
Now, before you go, would you just give us a good 20, 40 seconds of who you are, what you do, where they can
Sure,
find you?
man.
I'll pull your stuff up and send it out in the chat, please, sir.
Okay, so basically I moderate TYT Sucks, 51% the size of the official TYT subreddit. We keep their feet to the coals and we shit post a lot, and yeah. Also I have a YouTube channel, Conscious Caracal, check me out there. Con Caracal on Twitter. And I'm gonna upload a new video tomorrow, so watch this space. Cheers, guys.
Thanks a lot, Caracol.
Later.
Make sure y'all
Yeah,
check
man.
him out. It'll be easy enough to find his channel because I'm sub to him. Look through my subs. You'll find Conscious Caracal. You'll find a lot of other cool people there. But please go by and check out what I've pasted on the thing. I don't care if you leave the stream right now to do it. Go like them, put them in the thing that tells you your whatever it is, the favorites or whatever, because the Young Turks Suck is probably one of my favorite things to get. It's one of my favorite things to go to, and I don't even like Reddit. So thanks a lot, Caracol. No dead air. That was y'all's cue to say something. There's like 12 people here. You can't.
Boobs.
And also, I gotta do Buttercup before I forget, because I was looking at your channel and you know some people that I know that are jerks, and that's cool. I'm glad you work with them, but you're not a jerk, and I love you. So if you will give, like, you know, also a couple seconds of yourself, and while I feverishly look up your channel and pop that up, also, Buttercup.
Okay. What do you want me to talk about?
Well, just
Like-
tell us where they can find you, on what you do on YouTube and what you do on Twitter, where they can find you, and I will send out those links while you do that.
You can find me on YouTube by searching Buttercup W. I should be the only one that comes up. I essentially just rant about shit that happens in my life, or I do have a wonderful shit posting video. It's about 29 seconds long, and it's pretty much just me throwing up all the white supremacy signs that I could think of at the time. The white supremacy signs, if you, yeah. And you can find me on Twitter at I am Buttercup123. The name is Sexy Butter Bits because I was dared to change it to that. So I did.
It's still accurate.
Very
Yeah.
accurate.
Nice.
Very accurate.
And I
Oh,
can't.
okay, and nobody's putting you on the spot. So I don't have. I'll find your Twitter, but I did have your handily have your YouTube page popped up. So look for it right now. There's actually a delay, so look for it right. I can't wait that long. There'll be a lot of dead air, but look for it up there. So check out Buttercup, and I will also look for her Twitter. And the reason why am I doing this? Because, man, look, British is sitting here staring at me. I'm looking at his new icon that I love so much, and staring at me. He's saying, "You know what, Ogre? Ogre, really, Mr. Ogre? If it wasn't for me, you would still be a
Mr.
shit
Ogre.
stain on the mattress, sir." And so I like to pass it on. It's nice when folks help other folks. Isn't it nice?
I appreciate it.
Oh man, dead air. All these people. So what I'm saying is now it's time to
Really,
segue.
I'm
Mr. Ogre.
wiped, man.
No dead air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to segue to either the Beard Barian, because he said he's going to leave soon. So is there something you want to leave us with, Beard, before you jet out?
When in doubt, grow a beard and man the fuck up.
I can do
Nice.
neither of those.
I'm gonna go have some more
Well,
Well,
coffee.
that works for about half the population.
No,
Well, you can
no.
grow a beard down
No,
there.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, no.
This talk is
Say,
happening
have you
right now.
met, how many Italian women have you met? There's plenty that can
No,
grow
not
a
just
beard.
that, but every woman can grow a beard, and this is a fundamental fact of human life that needs to be understood. It's just that us as gentlemen, we get our beards earlier, so we're cooler while we're younger. Most women must wait until they reach their 70s or 80s or 90s before they start growing their beards. But you too can grow a great beard. Just live for a long time.
I have something to look forward to then.
Yes, I believe in you. I'm gonna go get
You
coffee
too
now.
can have that hormone replacement therapy. It'll be
Well,
fine.
I I can only say I side with Alexander the Great.
What, you're
And
dead?
how's that? You lost me.
Yeah, you lost us, Britisher.
Well, he didn't have a beard, and he instructed his troops to shave their beards.
Well, that was so nobody could catch him by the beard,
Precisely.
man. That was so they were more streamlined. That was very. He was only tactical. Was Alexander? He didn't care about anything except for getting laid, getting drunk, and destroying his enemy, and seeing them driven before them, and hearing the lamentation of the women.
Yeah.
Well, I think he had a particular thing for Darius, didn't he?
Yeah, King Darius was not his friend, I don't believe, was he? Wasn't he Persian?
He was the king of Persia, yes.
Yeah,
oh, actually,
nobody-
wasn't he? Yeah, but wasn't he originally from Macedonia?
Alexander was, yes.
Yeah.
Not Darius. Darius were from
No,
Darius was
Darius.
Persian.
No, sorry. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think
Darius was also a
beat him.
coward.
But he
Yeah, yeah.
buried Darius with full honors, and he actually killed those generals who had actually seen to assassinating him.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
it's feisty times. No, I mean, it's amazing when you think that he was doing all that at the age of like 20 odd. I mean, nowadays you can barely get children out, 20-year-olds out of their fucking bed in the morning to
Yeah, there's not too many 20-year-olds conquering Afghanistan at the head of an army these days. Yes.
Spineless.
Yep.
And so I shot Buttercup's Twitter out there too.
No
I follow on
motivation.
Twitter, and man, we've got 2 chicks here, and I really feel like I want to hear from them. It's just because I like to hear chicks talk. So as we wrap this thing up, and what I mean by that is like at 40 minutes, it seems like it's a long time, but when we start talking about something, it's gonna wrap up quickly. So I'm gonna give you girls one more chance if you've been thinking about it. Catherine, I know you're a computer expert. Buttercup, I know you're a young lady. And so, I mean, if you got something that you want to bring up that, now would be a great time, and we'll try to bounce right off of that. And if not, I'm going to the Britisher and Cabbage Patch Bastard and Jeremy, and y'all know what's going to happen then.
I have nothing specific I want to bring up, but I am going to drop out. I've got something I've got to go do. It's been great, though. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Catherine. I hope that we give you a chance to speak more next time you're here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, before you drop out,
Okay.
what type of job are you actually exercising right now?
I actually do cybersecurity. That's actually what I do.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
okay.
So nothing
So she's
special.
actually been sounding us out to see whether we're a threat or not.
Yes. You've gone on to know what I'm up to.
Please, if you can get some companies that do Internet of Things type stuff to finally make their stuff being updatable, do so. Like bully them into submission, please.
Okay, sure. No, I'll talk to my peeps about it sometime here soon, and I'll make sure.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm fed up with the stories of Internet of shit. Basically,
Yeah.
I'm fed up with those stories. It's getting concerning right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Okay, you guys have a great one.
Have a good one.
See you about.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. So really quick before we bust into this, because I want Buttercup to, I don't know. I don't care if you want to talk about makeup, because believe me, all these dudes around you right here, you might think, oh, they wouldn't be interested in what I've got to say, but you'd be surprised. We actually are pretty eclectic gentlemen. I consider myself metrosexual, which means that I like to look good. I like to feel good. I like to use good smelling stuff. So you never know what we could talk about. Doesn't have to be something like that. And also, Tomahawk, I noticed that you're here. But before I go on to that, I got to say, it's very rarely that I meet people so rapidly that I see that have so much talent. And Britisher, you're one of them. And in order not to embarrass you, I won't say much more than that. But the Beard Baron, he's gone. So I'm just gonna say, what a young guy. He's so young, Brett. It's sometimes when I meet these new people, and because I'm just about giving up on humanity, and then I meet the Beard Baron. And it's like, man, I was just about ready to say there's no more love, light, and laughter in the world. And then I meet this maniac that makes these crazy shit and goes out and does stuff for children to let them see that there's something better than just studying maths all day, that you can love art and you can love stories and you can still have a minstrel come by and give you a little bit of that. So I don't know. Is there something else you want to talk about? Because if not, might want to go in that vein and wonder if it is the end of the minstrel. Buttercup, what are you up to? What do you do? I mean, are you willing to tell us anything about yourself?
Oh, sure. I work in retail, and
Jesus.
I hate my life every day because of it. But
Are
I'm
you
good
Jay?
with people,
Are
so
you Jay or are you Silent Bob? That's the only thing I want to.
what?
Are you Jay or are you Silent Bob?
I'm not Silent Bob, that's for sure.
What a dick. No, continue though. So when you say retail, obviously you don't want to mention who you work for, but are you a barista? Do you sell people clothing? What is it that you do?
I sell people clothing and knickknacks, and
Oh, come on.
it's kind of like a specialty store. I cannot say too much more other than that.
No, don't say anything more. So we know that you sell people products. Sounds like probably in a mall or something like that. And it doesn't matter much more because my brain's already grinding. If mine is, that means somebody might find out what you do if you say much more.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
What do you do to offset the mundane of waiting for someone to come in and then trying to act like you're really excited about selling them said trinket?
I think about the ways in which the world disappoints me. No, it's working. I mean, working retail is people.
Have you ever
I think-
had? Have you ever had to one day just to vent up some steam? Basically, it's a hashtag that has been used by clerks all around in the US who are working retail. The hashtag "I'm not your babysitter."
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh my god. If okay, seriously, if I have to explain how a credit card like machine works to one more middle-aged person, I think I'm gonna lose it.
No, the "I'm not your babysitter" is basically referring to some mummies and daddies who think that because you're a clerk and you're working in the store, they can leave their kids into your custody.
Yeah, that too. But it's not just that. It's not just the children, which, yes, it is incredibly frustrating when you let your child run loose in a store. Like, put the damn thing on a leash.
No.
I don't care.
I have read stories where some parents, the balls on them, literally came up to one of the sales lady and let their kids with her in her custody while they go in another shop.
Right. No, they think that that's what we're paid for. We're not. We're paid to keep the store running, to stock the items, to ring you up. I'm not paid to watch your child, and it's not even just that. It's not even just the kids. It's some of the adults too. Like,
Well,
I spend so much of my day telling people how to swipe their credit cards.
Oh man, that's got to get old.
You have no idea. No idea. I would rather just take their card from them and do it for them at that point, because I don't understand how they make it that far in life and they need me to tell them how to swipe their credit card.
Well, you gotta
Put
ask
it in-
yourself if they never tried it before.
This way up or that way up? Is that the question?
Yeah. Did I do it wrong? Which way do I swipe it? Or, okay, so the way that our credit card machine is set up, it's one of the ones, it's just this little, it's a little
mouth. It's a little mouth.
Yeah, it's just a little card reader, and it's got the little slot on the side, and you just swipe it, right?
Yeah.
It's not one of like the big fancy ones. It's just you put the card in, stripe towards the machine, and swipe it. There's a diagram on there.
Oh, so there is already
They try to go in with it sideways. Or like, okay, we don't have a chip reader right now, but they still we have a card in there that says we don't have a chip reader, please swipe the card. And they still try to shove their cards in there. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? And what? You're going to get in a car now and you're going to drive yourself home and you can't figure out how a credit card machine works.
Yeah, on the other side, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for just a second. Like America, at the beginning of the chip, because the chip was originating from France, and we didn't want it to basically share the patent. Basically, the banks want. Basically, there was some beef between French banks and American banks, and some banks in France were actually have had a vested interest on the patent on the chip. So you basically spend years and years and years not having the chip until you finally decided to finally introduce it. So I'm guessing that the chip is still relatively new to them.
So what you're saying is the French are to blame.
The French banks are to blame, because if they were not asinine and were not assholish, actually America would have been using the chip as much as the rest of the world has been doing it immediately. They would have adopted it. Yes, it's just that
So,
the
yes,
French banks were
the French are to blame.
Yeah,
we
the
can
French,
live with that.
yeah, French banks are to blame for America not adopting the chip. So sorry, Buttercup. Our fault.
That's okay. It's fine. It's just, it's.
But just out of curiosity, like, is there more and more store actually using the chip now?
Oh yeah, no. Most places, like all banks, have switched over to the chip cards and everything like that.
It's just that
And a lot of places use them. It's just the store that I work at doesn't happen to.
Yeah, just your store doesn't have a contract for having a chip machine, so you don't have it yet. So
Right.
So basically, people have not been swiping for all their lives, and they're basically like, "Oh man, how do I do that already?"
Right. It's
Oh.
ridiculous. And they're trying to just shove their cards in there over top of these cards we have in there that say, we don't have a chip reader. And sometimes I just let them. And I just wait like 30 seconds, and then I'm like, oh, no, we don't have a chip reader. Because I get so sick of just babying these grown-ass people.
But isn't there a drawing on the fucking machine?
Isn't there what?
Isn't there a little bit of a drawing, right next to the slot?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, there is.
A drawing that basically say, please swipe that particular way. Like basically a drawing to tell you how to do it.
Yes, there absolutely is.
So
and they don't look at it.
Oh my fucking god! Like,
and not only that, but like I'll give people a credit card receipts to sign, because you have to sign if you use a credit card. And I actually had one lady, she flipped it over, she goes, "What do you want me to do?" And she's like looking on the back like she's looking for a map for Narnia or something. And I'm like, sign it. Just sign the piece of paper, lady. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? It drives me crazy.
Yeah. At some point, you need to go to say you need to go to see your boss and say, "No, dude, seriously, we need a chip reader now, because it's getting ridiculous."
I'm afraid if we get a chip reader, people are just going to start trying to swipe their cards again and not understand that they have to insert it into the machine.
Don't you have machines that do both?
Well, yeah, we have machines that do both. But I mean, the thing of it is, it's just, oh my god, it's just, most people, I think a lot of people, especially people who have never worked in retail or customer service, they have no idea how stupid the general population is.
Now, it's not until you deal with a huge lot of people that you get to realize that you're not the only one that this person has been taking care of this day. Literally, that's all it comes down to. Like, literally. It's not even just a question, of stupidity. Is that even if you had a great time working in retail, you get awfully nice to the people working retail, because you see how many people you've been dealing with during a single day. And you're like, yeah, let's not be a dick.
Right? Like, I think that's the biggest thing. I think that every person should be forced to work in a retail job or a customer service position at one point in their life.
Oh
Because-
goodness, no! You couldn't force me to. There's no, way.
No,
I've quit
you
good
need
jobs
to.
at factories just standing there where I.
The death toll
Look,
would be too
you
high.
need to, because
Yeah, no.
so many people, they don't understand what the job entails. They don't understand that it's
You
not
heard the
just
Britisher. I would be in prison because I would murder the first person. Like, I put my card in here, young. I'd be like, And plus, the idea of working for like a corporation or something, man, nah, I'd kill myself if I didn't kill somebody.
You know, like
no,
that's,
but that's the thing, is everybody needs to do it, because there are so many people who treat people in the service industry as like a doormat. Like, they're not people. They're not, that you put that work uniform on and you're not a person anymore.
Yeah, it sucks.
You are just a droid, and you just stand behind that counter, and it's your job to get shit on by them
Right.
verbally.
Because if you don't kiss ass, you get fired, and everybody.
Exactly.
Those days suck. Because Jeremy will tell you, in France, no. If you're in France and you expect the clerk to kiss your ass, he might tell you to suck his dick or her, whatever, because they don't go for that there. Just because somebody works at a store, don't mean you can shit on them.
And see, in that aspect, they're really lucky, because here in America, it's the whole "the customer is always right," and I want to kill the motherfucker who coined that term
Yeah,
so
'cause
bad. I
sometimes
just want to go
they're
back in time and I
very
want to rip his neck.
well, you know, some things need to be said about how much it is revealing that how you call something in various languages. Sometimes it's revealing of the mentality. In America, you talk about customer service. What we in France call customer service, you know how we call it? Good commercial practices. You see where the difference lies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
business first, man.
Yeah, just good commercial practices. You know?
I like that better, because it doesn't boil down to servitude,
Yeah.
which is basically what ours boils down to. Bend over, kiss the customer's ass, so they'll come back and they'll keep spending their hard-earned money.
But there's something also needs to maybe like every time I'm looking at my own culture, from a distance, I take a time to take a step back and look at it, like trying to look at it from an outsider perspective, though I am a French person. But I'm trying to look at it from an outsider perspective. Something needs to be said also about the culture in France is that basically we don't like to be pushy customers, because we know one thing is that at some point our teenagers are going to have that type of job as their first job, and we don't want to be that asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there's something to be like, okay, so most of the worst people to work with, like as far as customers, are like middle-aged people, 50s, 60s. They're the worst. We have,
Really?
middle-aged women come into where I work all the time, and they are some of the worst people that I have ever had to deal with. I hate them. I do. And I'm going to be one of them someday. Maybe I'll have a glorious beard by then.
Oh,
There's Godfather. Where would your beard be if you had one? No, you won't have a beard, but you could grow one now if you wanted to. And I've seen some marvelous beards on chicks.
That's
the
called
bush,
a bush.
The bush is underrated. Yeah, the bush is underrated. I mean, if you
We
watch,
call that a map of Tasmania here, Ogre.
sorry, bro. Yeah, right.
Because the pubic hair region of a female looks just like the shape of the island Tasmania, just down at the bottom of Australia. So in Australia, the term is a map of Tassie.
Ah, cool. I didn't know that. And welcome, Godfather. Yes, Britisher, I gave him the link before everybody left. But why not? I mean, sometimes you need a crazy Aussie to say fuck like every other word for 15 minutes straight. It makes me happy.
You said something earlier before you dodged out about like, is the minstrel show dead? Yeah, I think it is, man. That stuff's dying because everybody could just go to YouTube and watch it. If you drive past the playground, there's no kids on the playground anymore. There's no kids that play manhunt or go fishing. There's none of that. They're all inside playing Xbox.
But I hope in my heart that because we can look at this, but when you say that we're here doing this. Isn't this a minstrel show? Why do you think I, as your head minstrel, get, because look, Britisher is a lot funnier than you think. So is Jeremy. But when we get together like this, I let these boys go and they want to talk about this heavy, deep stuff. They really do. But as the head minstrel, I try to pop in and say, hey, let's crack some fart jokes.
Yeah, but it's not live. It's not what did I say? Live. Well, I guess it is live entertainment. But
yeah, what can we do to save the minstrel show, though, Hatchet?
Is it really dying that much outside of my own particular bubble? Like, is it really that much dying off?
What is it? Barnum and Bailey's just discontinued this year. At the end of this year, they're done. I went to a Rob Zombie concert a few months back, and there was like nobody there. It was like a private show. It's totally weird.
A Rob Zombie concert that was deserted?
Pretty much. There was maybe like 100 people there, man.
Where are you from, man?
New England, up by New York City.
Seriously?
Hey, guys, it's been fun, but I'm going to go ahead and bounce because we've been on here for about 3 hours now. So I am tired.
Okay. See you, Buttercup, then.
Bye, Buttercup.
Bye.
Bye. It's just it weirds me out. Like a Rob Zombie concert, was it just half full? Like, describe.
There was maybe 100 people there, man, and it wasn't a huge arena, but it was at a casino, so it was like a big venue. There's maybe like 100 to 150 people there. It was totally weird.
Yeah, but 250 people out of how many?
It's a 4,000 seat arena. It was cut in half. And only like maybe 200 tops showed up.
Jeez. Like, do you get other stories like that over here, Ogre? Ogre?
We seem to have lost the Ogre.
Yeah, I think we've lost the Ogre. Ah, he came back.
My wife was, because what I do is I put a hard line to this. And then, but when my wife is done with her thing, we've been friends a long time. I hope we'll be friends till the day one of us dies. But I got to change it around so that the wireless is hooked up. But now you'll notice that I'll start to look a little more blurry because since the wireless is hooked up, it just won't handle quite as much of me.
Yeah.
And look, and this is wonderful. But we got some great folks in here, and the idea of the minstrel show is something that's bumming me out. The idea of it going, because I wasn't kidding. I would fully make my own, go and tell stories to adults, kids. I don't care. I love to tell stories. My gift isn't satire like the Britisher, or it's not computers like Cabbage Patch Bastard or Jeremy. It's not vitriol like God Bother. It's not being cool like Hatchet. My gift is music and stories. I can tell you some tall tales that you wouldn't believe, and some of them that I've spun myself. In fact, quite a few of them. And I wish that it was still that way. If I was alive, and don't get me wrong, I don't pine for the old days. I wish I lived in another era. But if I was alive 1,000 years ago, I would be your bard. I would be your minstrel. I would be the one that would come to your town once every 6-7 months and would bring you tales from other towns that were probably mostly untrue, and play you songs and get you to buy me wine and let me fuck your daughter.
But Britisher, do you?
Ogre, you're a dirty old man.
I am so dirty, you just don't know.
Britisher, do you personally get the impression that it's the same over here in Europe, that basically kids don't go to concerts anymore?
Not really over here in Britain.
Yeah,
I would say it's still as alive as ever.
Yeah, it's weird how we react differently to technology, seriously, as cultures. It's really weird because over here, like, anything that is open air has never been as alive as it is. Like,
yeah, precisely.
Yeah, it has never been as vivid.
Don't get me wrong. People still show up to like the pop concerts, like the top 100. Whatever is spoon-fed to people nowadays on the radio.
Oh no! Us, it's the exact opposite. Like everything that is not on air, everybody shows up.
The only people who go to concerts are those fedora hat wearing fucking knitted handbag hipsters who fucking believe in global warming but are frequent flyers. They're the only cocksucking cunts who fucking go to any outdoor concerts these days.
Yeah, there's no scenes here. There used to be a hardcore scene here, a punk scene and shit.
There is.
They're all gone now, man.
Everything is gone. Like even like let's
Night
talk.
clubbing's the way to go.
Let's talk about let's talk, for example, about any type of gig that is meant for kids, that is really meant for like for young kids, like any type of cultural happening that is outside of home, basically. Like you need to show up in a place and you take your kids over there. So like, do you really think that kids just don't go out anymore? Because that's the feeling I got.
At least in my area, yeah, man. If you drive by playgrounds here, like you know what a playground is. They're empty. They're like freaking wastelands. There's no kids ever outside.
It's because their parents are too afraid of them getting hurt playing outside. That's the problem.
They're-
All their
they're
mothers are
protected.
helicopter parents.
Yeah,
Cotton
they're
wooly.
protected little snowflakes, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they're fucking all they have to their lives is a fucking iPad, and they just spend their entire time playing on fucking Wi-Fi connections. They're not allowed outside.
The only reason you'll see a kid at a playground is because of Pokemon Go. That's the only fucking reason.
Yeah. Other than that, they're these fucking huge jelly bean kids that are just too fucking fat and lazy to fucking.
Yeah, sweatpants.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to be fucking mountain biking, dirt bike riding, horse riding, climbing trees.
I'm not trying to fat bash here, but like I had no fat friends when I was growing up. None of us did. We were all ripped. Like we were busy swimming, building dirt jumps, freaking fishing, camping. The internet like fucked up my area. I don't know about anywhere else.
Seriously,
Yeah, the only fat people when I was growing up were the chicks.
Maybe you start to giving me a little bit of perspective of maybe is it why every time when I was taking care of a group of American tourists coming from the New York, New Jersey area, places like very close to Canada, like basically like East Coast, very close to Canada, like the northern, the more you
That's
were.
where I live. Is Connecticut.
Yeah, basically. Every time I was getting that type of Americans, like they were freaking out of seeing kids just running about their lives inside a park right next to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. You don't see it here, man. There's no kids outside ever.
Yeah, but
if their parents are there and watching them. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, but you can be there and watching while not being right next to the ass of your daughter. I mean, like you don't need to be. Like, are they that much afraid of a pedophile or some shit?
I have no idea. But when we were kids, it was like come home like an hour after the street lights go out, and when it turned dark out, we'd stay outside in front of our house and play manhunt with all the other kids in town. You don't see stuff like that anymore. Just doesn't happen.
I used to play that game. We used to play so many games that I don't see the kids around here playing no more. Dead Man's Bluff, hide and seek, capture.
Red Rover, dude.
Yeah, all of it, man. Statues, Red Rover, all of it.
TV
Mother May
tag.
I don't see kids play Mother May I. Foursquare. I used to play. I mean, like, ask kids. You ever play Foursquare? Mother May. They don't even know what the hell I'm talking
what
about.
the fuck is that?
Yeah, they don't even know. They want to play Xbox. They don't even go out and exercise. What a bunch of fatties, man. Hope to God this new generation will watch Beard Bearing and have some fun. Cole Pa, how you doing, brother?
Hey, man, what's up?
Same old thing, man. I'm better off now that you're here.
I just wanted to tell what Jeremy was talking about. It's not just in the northeast of this country. It's all over this country. You used to be able to go out and find kids playing in parks and playing ball. It's not just up in the northeast, man. It's all over this country. Kids are inside. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, same over here. Same in England.
I was referring like as a tourist guide, I was facing with adults freaking out. But the other adults were not that much freaking out. Like the more they were coming from northeast, the more they were getting mental about it. Like they were literally trying to pull the kids away from them playing outside. Like sometimes I had to hold back some of them, like physically. physically hold back some of my tourists and saying, no, the parents are there. Look over there. The parents are there and they're watching. Like leave those kids alone. They are not, they're not lost.
13 or 14-year-old kids, even like 12 years old, they get babysitters here. It's fucking totally weird, man. They used to be babysitters when I was a kid,
Yeah.
That Tomahawk, what annoys the shit out of me, especially here in Australia, is you have school zones where it drops the speed down to 40 kilometres an hour during school times, especially around high schools. Now, aren't these high school students being taught by all the sex ed that, oh, you're now old and free enough to go and fellate and have orgies and have homosex and explore yourself? So you're adult enough to do that, but you're not adult enough to cross the fucking street. How fucking retarded. So we give them all these fucking faux responsibilities and faux freedoms. Meanwhile, we make everyone else get fucking slowed down by these bullshit fucking school zones just because apparently they're not fucking mature enough to cross the road without getting squashed.
They need somebody to hold their hand.
Yeah,
I know parents don't take their kids outside anymore to ride bikes unless the parents are with them. The kids have training wheels. They have freaking bike helmets. I'm like you, dude, up north. We used to freaking try to build dirt jumps and camp and fish and hunt and everything else. Nobody's doing. It's all structured now. That's a huge problem in our society.
Yeah.
However,
worry about people getting hurt.
However, these days, when your kid goes to hospital with an injury, the fucking hospital staff say, now, did you abuse your child? Did you cause the injury? Did your child really fall out of a tree? Or did you throw your child down the stairs? Did your child get that bruise from you beating it? Or did it really fucking cop a fucking football in the eye?
That's got a lot to do with it, too, right there. That's got a lot to do with the shit right there.
Yeah. The amount of fucking hospitals which interrogate parents because children get hurt. Children get hurt playing, and the parents are interrogated as though they're violent aggressors. I mean, it's as though every fucking parent is like Daddy 05, or because their fucking child happened to fucking fall over in the street and hurt their knee. Apparently all parents are put in that Daddy 05 category. No, Daddy 05 is one fucking case. Children playing and getting hurt is a completely different fucking case. Let kids be kids, but no, they're dehumanizing not only kids, they're dehumanizing us with this. You can't refer to them as mum and dad anymore. You got to refer to them as people, or you can't say, fucking all this other.
You don't have to do any of these things. You either choose to comply or you don't. So don't claim that you have to.
Exactly.
Okay? So if you want to be spineless, that's up to you. But if you want to comply, then you die.
Do you ever see that movie Wall-E, like how the people are like really fat and in pods texting all the time because they're too lazy to walk even? It's gonna be like that, man.
So George Carlin kind of had a point when he was talking about too many methods of locomotion, too many choices is not healthy, America. They want
to tax the food because they're blaming the food for us being fat. No, the problem with being fat is that there's nothing to do anymore. You can't go out there and fucking dirt bike ride without copping a fucking fine from the cops. You can't go on horse ride without getting fined or being told you can't ride your horse here.
There's a shitload of schools here that don't even have physical education anymore, and that just went away, and nobody said anything. Like, it just went away.
Yeah, we're all sheep, man. We're all sheep.
We want your soul.
It feels that way sometimes, that we're all just waiting for our turn at the slaughter, and we don't even have the chance to bleat.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Go back to bed, America. We have figured it all out.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great tune, that one. That was brilliant. The guy who made that. But it's true, and the thing is, it requires compliance on behalf of the people. If people are going to act like sheep, then they're going to be treated like sheep. If people actually stand up and say, no, enough's enough, we're not doing it, then they can't do anything about it. If enough people say no, what are they going to do? Arrest everybody? Incarcerate the entire tax-paying? Their exchequer is going to be empty by the end of the month. They can't do it. So it's only because people, it's usually the ones who've got the biggest mouths who moan about stuff who actually don't do anything about it. And then they say, oh, well, look what happened to me. I'm now a victim again. It's like the fucking social justice warrior people. It's the same victimhood status that they adopt. It fucking pisses me off.
It's not like
whiny
people get
cunts.
arrested if they don't go outside, and you know what I mean. But I don't know, man.
But I don't get it. Like seriously, let kids be kids. Like when you're talking about hospitals being very interrogative, like doesn't a doctor in America, especially a family doctor, doesn't a doctor knows how to identify? Okay, this is obviously a kid rolling himself in the mud and getting some bruises out of it. You know what I mean?
But all this bullshit was happening back in the 90s. I remember if I was out in the fucking scrub playing, I'd be there on a mountain bike, I'd fucking come off a trail, I'd hit a tree, you'd go to school, you'd have a fucking bruise down your fucking arm because you'd obviously smacked the tree. And then you were taken off to the school counsellor and asked, so what really happened? Now, is that bruise there because you really hurt yourself? Or, I mean, they'd patronise you like that. It was just fucking bullshit. That was back in the fucking 90s. It's social engineering. It is the biggest fucking government control is getting the kids' fucking heads.
Yeah, they're trying to beat it into children's heads that they're victims without even, listening to them. It's totally weird.
Geez, seriously, like I'm feeling glad being where I am right now. Like I feel like Britisher, me and Cabbage, we're glad to be on the other side of the Atlantic right now, man.
Right. Yeah, well, the British are split. I think I'm half zoned out. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're still listening, sorry, bro. I was like just half zoning out. Captain Paul came in. Sometimes if I don't just zone out and half listen, what I'll do is I'll pipe in like I just did and fuck up the conversation.
Yeah, but seriously, it's ridiculous. Like for example, the first time I took the first time I personally took the training wheels out. Like I was 6-year-old. Like it's been 2 years of being able to ride a bike and fucking with those training wheels, and like trying to be on 2 wheels rather than 3 and so on and so forth. At some point, I went to my parents and I was like, okay, I want to ride a grown-up bike. And of course, basically, it's the first time, so of course you're gonna fall down, and of course you're our
generation, yeah, Jeremy. That I'm talking about the kids nowadays. I took my own training wheels off when I was younger than 10. So
Same here, man. Same here.
Everybody on this stream, I think, but it's the kids growing. I don't know how it is in France and Great Britain, but right now in this country, it's a shame. We have ball fields overgrown with weeds and trees and everything else, and no kids are out playing in them, and it's a damn shame. One guy in the chat a while ago said he lives in Wales. I can't remember his name, but he said that the kids over there can't even play army with sticks. That was a huge game when I was a kid. We would all play army because our heroes
played army with BB guns, mate.
Yeah, we used to play it with BB guns, and you'd use things like cherry bombs and stuff as grenades.
These days you play armies using diplomacy, polite language. What else do you also?
We would take a piece of PVC about 4 feet long.
Yeah, and make rocket launchers
at the bottom of it. And and then you fling that, and you could throw that cherry bomb 75 yards. We used to.
I would use the pipe as well. Use pipe as well for rocket launchers. You put rockets in the back of it.
Yeah,
firing them across. Yeah.
My parents, I come up beat up a bruise, bleeding. They would like, "Hey, looks like you had fun. Go take a bath."
We used to recreate the Somme every single Halloween, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like on Guy Fawkes night when all the the cheapers. Yeah, that's what we used to do. It was fun.
I don't know.
I mean, I know a friend of mine who blew up one of his fingers. He dislocated it, and he ended up going to the hospital. Nobody cared.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's happened. It's all over. It's coming to an end.
The doctor thing is still weirding me out, because seriously, like even the son of my sister, like young son of my sister, like recently he took out the wheels and inevitably he ended up in a tree and he had a big bruise on his back, basically like a big bruise on his back. And the only thing that the family doctor had to say is like, "Whoa, wow, you didn't miss yourself on this one."
I grew up playing rugby, mate. That's the point. I mean, you were scarred constantly in winter and Easter. At Michaelmas and Easter term, you had welts down your back from people, with these studs on, trying to get the ball out and things like that. I mean, there wasn't a single person in that entire school that wasn't bruised up one way or another.
Yeah, basically the doctor is the lady, the lady doctor. She
We don't
basically
know.
looked at, she looked at my sister's son, and she was like, wow, he didn't miss himself. She was not interrogative. She was like, how did he do that? And I was like, take off the baby wheels for the first time. Like, let me guess, you ended up in a tree. And the kid went like, oh geez. Like, well, maybe avoid the trees next time.
Yeah, exactly. Learn about gravity. Did you understand that was a learning curve?
Yeah, it builds character. Yeah, doctors can actually report you to DHS without even your knowledge. If you take your kid in sick or hurt, like he was saying with a burn or something, they can report you. They can come investigate you at your house. And,
yeah, well, there wouldn't be public schools over here if you did that, because you wouldn't be able to play rugby. Jesus, I remember I was playing cricket and I ended up with a cricket ball straight to the middle of my head. That fucking hurt. I ended up with a thing like the size of an egg, right smack.
We used to give each other bruises on the shins because of all the Yorkers we'd bowl cabbage.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, God, the shins were always
And especially if it was if it was wet and the pitch had all that fucking moisture on it, and you get the ball to skid, and the amount of times you'd accidentally Yorker into the fucking legs because you didn't want to bounce because you wouldn't be wearing helmets. And,
that's it. Backspin.
Like
you
remember
put the backspin on it, and that's it. You got them. And the thing is, of course, whenever you're playing it in the park or out on the field, you didn't have all your pads on and everything. So I mean, it was just all bets are off, isn't it?
You only wore pads if you were playing for an end of year trophy. If you were just shitting around with your mates, you just fucking rock up with the ball and a bat and find a fucking park, stick some stumps in the ground, and see how you fucking go.
Remember,
I've had plenty of injuries from cricket.
remember, American folks, like in that movie Holy Grail by the Monty Python, it's just a flesh wound. It's not just a joke. It's a reality.
It's not just a flesh wound. Come back, bite your ankles.
Okay, I'm gonna split y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see you, Copile. Thanks for swinging by, brother.
Take care, mate. Yeah,
Take care,
good to see you.
Thank you.
Take care, bud.
Yeah, it was some good points he brung up, and I ain't got much left in me, man. At the very most, 14 minutes, folks. I try to do 3 hours a day whenever I do it. But Jeremy, you are definitely going to host Wednesday. And Cabby, I know you're busy right now, but I kind of want to have you host one day if you'd ever want to. And
well, like I said, it's going to have to be a Friday because that's obviously like return day.
Well, maybe next Friday, and that'd be great. And what I mean by that is, of course, I would be here. I'm not going to abandon you. But what I'm trying to do is encourage. I like church. I would like to see church go on 7 days a week, but I myself am only going to do it 3 days max. So I'd like to see other people branch off, and I'm Reverend Ogre to be Reverend Cabbage. Who knows? But that's just my idea and sharing it with you now.
I'll just have to find out some subjects to deal with you.
Why do the French have 8 kinds of cheese and give rights to human rights to trees? There you go.
Human rights to trees.
Actually, they'll probably give human rights to cheese next, then.
Yes.
It's only one step to go, There's active bacteria in there. It's life.
Oh, we know it's life. Oh, we know it's.
They chuck grubs in it, and then when they eat it, it's like eating Viagra.
Right.
It's like an aphrodisiac, and they fucking go a little bit sort of wild and lovemaking.
That's Italian one, yeah.
No, we know the fucking thing is alive. That's why we hate the sterilized the sterilized brands, like the brands that are made with sterilized milk.
You need ones with ammonia, because if you haven't got the ammonia smell, then it's not alive. That's why the active cheeses. It's part of the sort of the decomposition process that matures the cheese.
Yeah.
No, the French allow the bacteria to grow in the cheese because growing cheese or making cheese is a lot like going to war. You have an enemy, which is a bacteria, and they go, "We surrender." And they allow the bacteria to take over the cheese and then take over their bodies. And they just allow the bacteria to fucking do what it wants to do. Just like the way how they're allowing all these fucking ragheads from the Middle East come into France and do whatever they want to do.
Go buzzer, I kid you not, right? And this is absolutely true. I was watching a guy who was unpacking a French MRE, and it was totally sealed, right? It was definitely fresh. It hadn't been sort of opened and somebody fiddled with it and then resealed it again. You could see it was original. And at the bottom of it, the guy was like looking at this thing, and it's like, a black stick with a piece of white paper on the top. And he was like, "What the fuck is this?" It's like, oh, it's the French army. It's a white flag. And they actually have one of those in their ration packs.
I should have saw that one coming. That was great.
No, Cabbage, have you heard of the, we got the Swiss Army knife. Have you heard the French Army knife? Where all it is just a fucking cheese knife, a corkscrew, and a surrender flag. That's all.
Yeah, that's all they need.
Well, you got to have a toothpick in there, but this.
Oh, yeah, toothpick as well, yeah. Oh,
mercy. Sorry, Jeremy. But I don't, and I said it before, we all make fun of the French, probably because they're some of the toughest people that there are on earth. If you go up to where I'm at and you go up north of here, the French are the only ones that could deal with the Indians in the cold, and they were the first trappers, and they really do have a glorious history. But it's fun to make fun of.
Well, they do have to be strong because they've got to handle their own BO.
And their wives' hairy armpits.
I think that's a fetish. I think it's just when their wives want to run off with the credit card, it allows them to go up and grab those hairy armpits to hold them back, like getting a horse and pulling it back on its reins. Whoa! No.
I
really back my credit card, bitch.
I wish that French ladies would be shaving less, because seriously, over here, like the hair is dying, even on the pubic hair is dying. Like, don't have hair on legs, don't have hair under their armpits, don't have hair anywhere anymore.
See, Europeans, you're freaky. Why do you think we want Brexit? No, well, it's not. You get your own way. You have your own weird little fucking, shenanigans and,
Yeah, but just give me some bush, like if you're really
European. That's why I want to get away.
Just like that's the thing that drives me nuts. It's just like I know it's annoying to have to trim this particular part of your body, but don't take off all of the hair. Just like if you really think that it's messy, just take care of it, like just like your head hair, You go to the hairdresser for your head hair, same things, like get a haircut.
You'll get a vajazzle.
No,
shiny disco ball hanging out from between the legs when you go down there. Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? 70s night.
Look, I have nothing against a bald pussy, but when you only get bald, at some point it gets annoying.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my personal point, is that when you only get bald pussy, at some point it gets annoying.
I don't know. There's a lot to be said for the Brazilian wax. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, he's French.
And I mean, that's to each their own, but I've heard of the French wax too. That's just a little Hitler thing,
Once again, appeasement.
Well, I'm out of here, everybody. So I've got to go horse riding. Got my mate texting me saying, "Where the fuck are you?" Yeah, my horses are waiting, so I got to go.
Thanks, Godfather. Rock and roll. Thanks for showing up, mate. Sorry about razzing you, but it got to. You do rub people the wrong way, but I love you.
Shit happens. No, not really. Assholes cause it.
Nah.
That's why you're here.
No.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Ogre, he's Australian. He's still family, no matter what. That's the whole point, all right? That's how it works.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're an Aussie?
Family, mate.
You're an Aussie, Godmother?
Yeah, what does my accent sound like to you?
I wouldn't have said Australia. But I have not met that many Aussies, and every Aussie that I've met was either Melbourne. Yeah.
Melburnians, they're all a bunch of fucking soy and lentil vegan fucking hipsters that sip on decaf soy lattes in a dirty heroin fucking addict needle infested fucking graffiti laden back alley down fucking Melbourne CBD.
So that's why they decided to come live over here in France. The ones that I've met.
You go to Melbourne and it is like a wannabe fucking Paris. All of them down there in Melbourne think they're fucking Europeans. They got this fucking. They got this canal or this open sewer called the Yarra River, and they think it is better than Sydney Harbour. Oh, we've got the Yarra. Oh, the Yarra. It's so much better than Sydney Harbour. And Sydney Harbour is the size of a fucking ocean, and they think that this little fucking canal or this open sewer, which looks like, I don't know, the Ganges or some shit. They think that is what brings Melbourne its beauty, its pristine. And Melbourne is a fucking shithole. It's just full of fucking It's full of trams, it's full of fucking speed cameras, it's full of fucking dirty cops, and it's full of fucking foreigners cooking food that you don't even know how to pronounce when you read the menu, and they smash a few fucking plates on the ground and clap their hands going, hey, 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 and they call that fucking vibrant culture of Melbourne. It is a shithole, and they all wank around.
What about Canberra? I've heard Canberra.
So that's why you're just telling me that this is exactly why the Melbourne guys that I have over here in northern France are the most hardcore meat lovers that I ever met. Because they were sick and tired of the bullshit in their own country, and this is like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna go live in a place.
That's not
Jeremy,
they're called soy sausages, Jeremy. They're soy sausages. It's meat substitute. You just think they're eating meat, and that's what you frogs have been eating.
No, this is the thing. You get it over here. I mean, like I said, you can't move in London for the Aussies and stuff. Apparently, they're more than happy to get the hell out. But I thought Canberra was the biggest shithole rather than Melbourne.
Canberra's full of public servants.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I thought it was the biggest shithole.
The only reason why you go to Canberra is to buy triple X-rated porn and fireworks. That's the only reason why you go to Canberra, because it's legal there.
But yeah, just for you, Godmother. Yeah, most of the Aussies that I've met over here in northern France, like, oh, they are hardcore meat lovers. Like the minute there's a vegan getting inside their face, they get feisty.
Yeah, I've had vegans get in my face here. They tell me about animal rights and shit, and I said to this one cunt when he was wanking on about animal rights and do animals want to be killed, I said to this cunt, do you think I want to be eaten by a fucking shark when I'm out there in my jet ski fucking enjoying the waves? Do you think the shark gives a fuck about my human rights when it wants to come up and eat me? No. So I'll eat the fucking shark before he eats me. And boy, this fucking vegan fucking lentil chewing fuckknuckle got offended as fuck, and he just went on a typical Jermaine Greer style fucking tangent splitting rant where just started crapping on about pedophiles and gays and shit. Fuck you, you stupid cunt. Go fuck yourself, you little fucking malnourished fucking spawn of a fucking Satan cunt. Fuck you.
But don't forget, you got your horsey. Go get your horsey.
Yeah, I gotta get on some horses and go ride them. Otherwise, I'll just fucking get the shits. Or they'll just shit in one spot and let them shit in the woods.
So that's why
Have a good time, Godfather, you crazy fucker. Don't get bucked, man. Don't pull a dog on Superman, Christopher Reeves, and don't do that. Just be careful. Wear a helmet.
He can't keep control of a jet ski. He can't keep control of a car. He's got fuck all chance of keeping control of a horse.
Oh, man.
No, the horse needs control of itself.
Wear a bloody helmet.
On the other hand, if a car engine would be powerable through fucks, Godmother would never need fuel.
That's true. Yeah, the fuck engine. That's what you need. The fuck engine.
I'm out here. See you.
Take care, mate.
See ya.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. What a good time. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. I'm just gonna let Cabbage Patch and I'm gonna let all y'all have the last word. So take a minute of your own time, whatever you want to do. Talk about yourself. But when that's over, I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna fuck off. I'm gonna go get pissed. I've had like 4 beers. Oh no, I'm sorry. 1, 2. I've had 7 beers, but I'm gonna have a few more because I don't feel like I've even had one. And it is Friday, Cabbage Patch. All work and no play makes Ogre a dull boy.
Yeah, and I'm feeling worn. I really am. It's been a long week.
Hey, you managed to do all of what was needed. You managed to find the issue that lied inside the servers.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
Found one.
no.
That definitely helped. The ODBC thing definitely made a difference, but it's not the final solution. There's still something else that seems to be
there's still some little bugger out there fucking with everything.
Gremlins.
Well, at least it's not ODBC.
Well, exactly. Well, it's not now. It was, but it's not now.
Okay.
Yeah, we managed to kill off. Oh God, what was that gremlin? The worst one.
Yeah, I'm taking off, you guys. Have a good day.
Oh, you're heading. All right, man.
Later on, bro. Good to see you, Hatchet. I know it's been a little wild. It always is wild in here. You know how it is, Cabbage Patch. People come on, and I like people coming on, but Jeremy, y'all fit in real good. But sometimes folks come in and I don't know what to do. I can't like keep cutting people off unless there's a structured thing, which I do rarely, because they're going to get their word in or they can't. I don't know what else to say. If they got something important to say, I guess they'd figure out a way to get it in there, right? I don't know.
Well, exactly. That's the whole point. You know, you always find a way to interject if you've got any balls. You don't sit there like some, fainting daisy. Come on.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes I get feisty, when I arrived on the stream and we were talking, about those laws, about what they want to be doing. On top of that, it's concerning. Like that particular bill from Theresa May, it's nasty looking. Like
it is. Yeah, but don't forget that the only reason that she's doing that is because the European Union is already looking at adopting them. And if we leave the European Union, the one thing she said is that she will take all of the European laws as are, and then we will unpick them. So the idea is that if we take all the laws as they are, then we're not in violation of any European laws. So therefore, they've got no reason to bitch or gripe and stop trading with us. That was the kind of checkmate that she was playing for. Which caught Germany and France off guard. So now what they're doing is they're saying, but the thing is that she didn't, she's going to be adopting it because it will be effectively part of the European Union. So, look into it, mate. It's actually the European Union aspect of it. It's already being introduced. It was part of TTIP anyway. And they're just bringing it in a different way. Why do you think they're delaying the European, union separation so much? Why do you think it's been delayed for 8 months? And now it's being delayed again by a general election. They're buying time. This is what they've been doing since the beginning.
They're buying time because the corporations of the old media, basically the old media people, want to push that bill because it's gonna bail them out of bankruptcy. Like this is all what this particular bill is meant to be. It's basically forcing the new actors and the new forms of media to interact and suck on the cock of the old media. It's the only thing it's all about.
This is beyond media. This is beyond the people on YouTube or with a vPro account or something like a Vimeo account or whatever. It's Daily Motion or something. It's not like that. It's not Minds or. This is really far more intrusive and far more.
We have had
invasive.
We have had some red flags with like the French branch of Wikipedia. So the French branch of Wikipedia, like basically they're being called to the government like right before the presidential election, and the entirety of the interview was not how do you make money out of this and how do you employ people, because that's how they presented it. Like, we just want to know how you operate because it looks shady to us. And actually the entirety of the speak, you know what it was about?
How can we control it?
No. Try to guess what it was.
What? I mean,
forcing Wikipedia to change a little bit of its licensing system and a little bit of its policies so that the stock photos
disclosure.
So that the stock photos to illustrate Wikipedia articles would be bought from stock photos companies rather than furnished by the users. Rather than being user-generated content furnished for free. Just to force them to buy pictures.
Well, you can't force Wikipedia to.
They told them to fuck off.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. That is really unusual.
Yeah, The Last of Us are here. Yeah, The Last of Us are here, so I'm going to play a little song. It's for the nice people that showed up today. Buttercup and who's the other girl? Oh man, brain seizure. The girl that has the cat there, Felix the cat, for her emblem. I'm having a brain seizure. I could probably look back. No, I can't. I dropped out and came back. So forget it. This is for everybody that showed up.
It was Catherine, mate. Catherine.
Yeah, this is the Catherine, right? Yeah, a computer expert. That's pretty cool. It's good to have more than one of you all around, Cabbage. You can't be the only one that knows everything. So this is by the Mountain Goats. It's called The Old College Try. I'm pretty sure it's about, I don't know. Listen to the lyrics and try to figure it out for yourself. I really haven't been able to figure it out so far. The lengthening hours at the refinery, belching fire into the sky. We do our best Vampire routines as we suck the dying hours dry. The night is lovely as a rose. If I see sunlight hit you now, I'm sure that we'll both decompose. Oh, sing, sing, sing for the dying of the day, and sing for the flames that will rip through here, and the smoke that will carry us away, and sing for the damage we've done, and the worst things that we'll do. Open your mouth up and sing for me now, and I will sing. La ha ha, la da ha ha. Oh, the fitful sleep and the fire engines that I dream of when I dream someday we'll both wake up for good. I will try hard not to scream. The night is lovely as a rose. If I see sunlight hit you now, I'm sure that we'll both decompose. Oh, sing, sing, sing for the dying of the day, and sing for the flames that will rip through here, and the smoke that will carry us away, and sing for the damage we've done, and the worst things that we'll do. Open your mouth up and sing for me now. I will sing la da ha ha, da ha ha. May the minstrels always live on. I hope that the music will never end. I hope the stories will never quit being told, and that those stories will get taller as they roll on down the line. I hope that we will never forget that beauty, love, laughter, these are the things that make our life important. Not whether or not Trump had 2 scoops or Erdogan or you name it. None of this stuff matters, people. Wake up. Teach your children to play in the streets. Give them a BB gun and tell them to go shoot their friends. That's what makes us strong. And remember, folks, be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge you'll never be able to forget about it. Because, constant viewers, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and your cause will depart from you. Ha ha! Sydney Rough Diamond, what a good show today. I got kind of fucked up, brother. See you next